Welcome to Fanfiction Audiobooks. Marvel, I can download unlimited talents. Chapter 81. Name, Alder Rizik Orion. Identity, PhD in Biology. Abilities, Top Fighting Skills, 200 MB, Alienated Virus, Energy Value, 50, Firearm Proficiency, 300 MB. The biggest reason why Dr. Killian is so powerful is because he is carrying the alienated virus. It was this ability that made Killian, who was originally somewhat disabled, become what he is now. Although it doesn't require a lot of energy, this ability is pretty good. Li Te gained some energy points in the previous battle. It is enough to download the alienation virus on him. Although Li Te does not completely need this ability, what Li Te needs now is Clinker. This alienated virus can be completely integrated into his divine bloodline and become a more powerful ability. Now Li Te's goal is no longer just to download other people's abilities. What he needs to obtain is fusion. The more abilities there are, the greater the power of the fusion. However, some ordinary abilities were no longer considered by Li Te. But this alienated virus was still what he needed. Without any hesitation, Li Te directly chose to download with one click. Ding dong, download successful. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for gaining the ability to mutate viruses. Actually, Li Te can also inject himself. Unfortunately, his body has surpassed that of humans, and this virus cannot affect him at all. So he can only download it. After doing this, Li Te no longer needs Kiri. Alright. At this moment, in Li Te's hands, streaks of thunder and lightning were rioting crazily. These thunder and lightning poured into Killian's body like silver snakes, destroying all the tissues in his body. Ah! Finally, under the powerful power of thunder and lightning, Killian couldn't bear it anymore. The terrifying power swept through his body. Boom! The next moment, the other half of Killian's body exploded directly and died. After doing this, Li Te ignored him and slowly walked towards the so-called Mandarin. This Mandarin was pretending, but he was also required by Li Te for the mission. One of the people who beheaded. I'm just an extra, I'm innocent. The Mandarin's face was pale. He looked at Li Te's cold eyes and trembled all over, apologizing for himself. But Li Te didn't care about this. He had the final say whether he was guilty or not. Furthermore, what the Ten Rings gang had done before he has to be involved in all kinds of terrorist incidents. It is false to believe that he is not guilty. At the moment, Li Te's body is raging with lightning and he is constantly rioting. He has checked this Mandarin and found that he is just an ordinary person with no special abilities. Although Li Te was not sure whether the real Mandarin was him, he would rather kill him by mistake than let it go. Under the powerful thunder and lightning, the so-called Mandarin's life was completely destroyed. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for killing Killian and the Mandarin. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completing the mission and gaining 3000 energy points. Just when Li Te killed Master Manchu, the sound of the system came. It meant that he had completed the system's task. But Li Te did not expect that this time the character's reward actually had 3000 energy points. This is equivalent to half of New York is at war. Originally, Li Te was still worried about gaining energy points, but he didn't expect the rewards from the mission to be so generous. For Li Te, energy points mean everything. With this harvest, Li Te quite satisfied. Ding dong, the mission is started. The host is asked to gain the trust of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch within 3 months. The mission was opened again, and it was actually about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. This made Li Te happy. He had already gained Pierce's trust before, and through him he was able to contact the Hydra base. According to the timeline, it seems that in the near future, the two twin brothers and sisters will become superheroes with the help of the Mind Stone. Whether it is the abilities of Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch, Li Te is very concerned about them. Especially Scarlet Witch, she has incredible powers. The power is extremely powerful. It's just that she hasn't fully mastered it herself. But Li Te, who has the system, doesn't need to worry about all this at all. There is also the speed of Quicksilver. Although it is different from the setting of the mutant Quicksilver, Quicksilver's his speed is absolutely superior to all the Avengers. The requirement for him in the mission is to gain the trust of the twin brothers and sisters. To put it simply, it is the same as he did to the little spider. But the only problem Li Te faces now is how to enter the 9-head snake's base. All these need to be completed within 3 months. The progress of the plot is much faster than Li Te believed. Afterwards, Li Te took care of everything around him. Especially those surveillance videos, all of which he destroyed. These abilities in him cannot be fully exposed. After completing all this, Li Te once again put on the suit and returned to the Avengers base. He killed the Mandarin and Killian, representing Iron Man 3. The plot of Iron Man 3 is officially over. Then, it enters a new stage. If calculated according to normal time, the plot of Iron Man 3 will take a while. Now Li Te just let him end it early. This means that Li Te is no longer he needs to completely go with the flow. In the future, he can completely control the plot. However, after the plot of Iron Man 3 ended, the functions of his system were not upgraded. Li Te can understand this. He wants the system to be more open and powerful. Functions, he needs to be exposed to the real main plot. These plots are as important and influential as Avengers 1. And his current functions are enough for him to do many things. Not long after, Li Te returned to Avengers base. At this time, there are many agents guarding the Avengers base, but there are no superheroes. These superheroes, like Captain America, can be said to have completely become a sharp sword for S.H.I.E.L.D. As long as if a major accident occurs there, the Avengers will be dispatched. As for Li Te, he no longer needs to obey S.H.I.E.L.D.'s orders. Of course, this is also because Li Te is strong enough. If it were other people, he would be in trouble. He was expelled by S.H.I.E.L.D. When Li Te returned to Avengers base, Fury walked out. The latest news I received is that the headquarters of the Ten Rings gang has been destroyed and the Mandarin is dead. Fury looked at Li Te with a hint of surprise on his face. Because he had never given such an order at all. He just wanted Li Te to bring back Iron Man. Unexpectedly, Li Te directly brought the Ten Rings gang destroyed. This was beyond his expectation. Such a huge organization, even S.H.I.E.L.D. did not control the position of the organization, was destroyed in advance by Li Te. At this time, Fury became increasingly distraught. Too special. Stark will be back soon and he's fine. Chapter 82. Of course Li Te knew what Fury was concerned about, which was Stark's safety. After hearing Li Te's answer, Fury didn't say much. As early as when Li Te confessed to him before, he knew that he could not control this person. Especially since Pierce has already set his sights on Li Te, Fury can't do anything in front of Li Te. It will inevitably be counterproductive. You go and have a good rest, we will handle the next thing. After that, Fury left directly. The Ten Rings gang has a lot of connections with Hydra, and he wanted to find something out of it. He even suspected that there were people from Hydra in S.H.I.E.L.D. But he couldn't be sure. So he will not let go of anything related to Hydra. But Fury would not have thought that his immediate boss, the former director Pierce, was actually a member of Hydra. Neither did Li Te necessary reminder. Afterwards, he returned to his room and opened his panel. Name, Li Te. Identity, Level 6 Agent. Abilities, God's Body, God's Blood, God's Combat Skills, Power of Lightning, Spider Sense, Alienated Virus, Human Shield Integration. Warehouse, Super Vibranium Shield, Mark 8 Armor. Balance, $2 million. Energy Value, 3,150 points, can be used for one-click download and one-click upgrade. After wiping out the 10 Commandments gang for the first time, he gained more than 3,000 energy points. These energy values can be used directly for fusion, and it doesn't cost much. But Li Te did not do this, because in order to obtain more powerful abilities, a sufficient number of abilities were needed to fuse. If you just fuse one or two abilities, there won't be much improvement at all. Therefore, Li Te planned to fuse after gaining enough abilities. As for the energy values in his body, Li Te has other uses. The problem he faced now was how to get to the Hydra base. Pierce was his breakthrough, but he couldn't bring it up directly for fear of making S.H.I.E.L.D. suspicious. I haven't seen either Black Widow or Captain America recently, and I think we are about to enter the plot of Captain America 2. As for the plots of Thor 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy, they both take place in Asgard and the universe, so he cannot participate. During this period of time, Li Te had better speed up the plot of Avengers 2 as soon as possible. But it will take some time, at least not now. Fortunately, his mission requirement was 3 months, otherwise Li Te would not have been able to complete this mission. Li Tuk didn't want to participate in the plot of Captain America 2 because it didn't have much appeal. It's nothing more than the disbandment of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the passion of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Although the Winter Soldier is very strong, it doesn't have the abilities that Li Te wants. So Li Te's next plan is about the Hydra base. For Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch to completely trust themselves, they must do so before the plot of Avengers 2 begins. In this way, Li Te can control the overall situation. Thinking of all this, Li Te was thinking secretly. Once the mission issued by the system is completed, he can report the location of the Hydra base to S.H.I.E.L.D. In this way, the second stage of the plot unfolds. He recalled the movies he had seen before over and over again in case he missed something. In the following time, Li Te completely ignored what was happening in the outside world. Iron Man also appeared in the public eye 3 or 4 days after his disappearance. Although it caused some waves, it had nothing to do with Li Te. Hulk's fate is still unknown and he is hidden by S.H.I.E.L.D. Hawkeye has probably already started his own family, so there's nothing special about it. The busiest ones are Black Widow and Captain America, actively carrying out some of S.H.I.E.L.D's missions. When all the plots are developing intensively, Li Te has always stayed at S.H.I.E.L.D. He trains new agents and is familiar with his abilities. It can be said that there is nothing special about him. The 3 new abilities have been fully adapted, and now my biggest advantage is my physical body and the ability to control lightning. Li Te murmured to himself in a room in the Avengers base. These days, he has a comprehensive understanding of his body. Especially how to fully use his power in battle, Li Te has mastered it. Almost. Although he has no ability to download these days, his strength has improved a lot. Zzz. At this moment, Li Te's cell phone placed on the table suddenly vibrated. It was a message without any text. There was only one coordinate. Unexpectedly, you couldn't help it anymore. A smile appeared on Li Te's face after seeing the left side. Fury probably wouldn't contact him in this way, and the only people with his contact information were people from S.H.I.E.L.D. At this time, using this there is only one way to contact him. There is only one person in S.H.I.E.L.D., and that is Pierce. Hydra seems to have started to take action. In fact, when Li Te revealed his identity before, he already knew that Pierce would never ignore him. After all, before his performance was outstanding, and he was reluctant to let such talents go unused by him. So Li Te thought of this when they appeared. Of course, all this was because Li Te knew all the subsequent plot developments. Distance the plot of Captain America 2 will not be too far away, and Pierce will be found out soon. Li Te must use this time to implement his plan. And his guess is not wrong, Pierce is indeed looking for someone. He fell in love with himself. He is the former director of S.H.I.E.L.D. It is very simple to find Li Te. Then, the coordinates on Li Te's mobile phone, if Li Te guessed correctly, are the place where they met. As the manager of S.H.I.E.L.D. layer, Pierce had the qualification to go directly to the top of S.H.I.E.L.D. to find Li Te. Afterwards, Li Te packed up and went directly to the location Pierce sent. The location was very hidden and not many people knew about it. It was even on the map. I couldn't find the location of this location on the internet. Fortunately, the distance was not very far. In less than 10 minutes, Li Te arrived at the agreed upon location. It was an abandoned steel factory in disrepair and there was a long stretch of surrounding area. There is no one in the distance. It is dark now, and with the lack of moonlight, everything here looks very dark. It can be said that this is a good place for connections. But Li Te has been in this place for almost 10 minutes, and Pierce still did not show up. So cautious? Li Te smiled. He could also guess that Pierce could hide in S.H.I.E.L.D. for so long and still hold a management position. One can imagine his caution and caution. Chapter 83. At this point, Pierce may be much better than Nafuri. Otherwise there would be no way to hide it for so long. So Li Te was not in a hurry and waited quietly. Buzz. And at this moment, beside Li Te, a black shadow struck from a distance and appeared in front of Li Te at an extremely fast speed. But Li Te did not attack, because in his spider sense, there is a more dangerous existence. Sure enough, less than a minute after the black shadow appeared, several other shadows appeared. They were hidden in every corner, making it almost difficult to see clearly. And Li Te could also clearly feel it. Yes, these all have more or less special abilities. Test me. Li Te's eyes flashed. He would not accept other people's temptations so easily. In his eyes, the other party obviously didn't believe in him, so that's why he was like this. In this case, he couldn't let the other party succeed. Without any hesitation, Li Te balls of flame suddenly appeared on T's body, and his whole body was like lava. This is the alienated virus. Although it is not strong enough, Li Te's skills are enough to deal with these people. Boom! For a moment, Li Te turned into an afterimage, and his whole body became extremely hot, with balls of flames erupting in his body. Those who attacked him around him suddenly retreated. Boom! It was a gun, and it was aimed at Li Te's heart. But Li Te did not dodge, and appeared next to the shooter in an instant. Poof! Li Te directly raised his hand, and a powerful burst of power was accompanied by a high temperature of several thousand degrees. Not to mention the man's flesh and blood, even steel would fuse in a short time. Ah! The man roared, and half of his body was swallowed up by the flames. But it was not over yet. Next, Li Te started fighting directly. His speed, strength and even fighting skills were beyond the limits of human beings. Those who besieged Li Te, there are 5 people in total. One of them has been destroyed by Li Te. Although the other 4 are powerful, they are facing Li Te. These people are no match for Li Te. The 5 people who took action were less than in 1 minute, 3 of them were directly destroyed. The next 2 Li Te didn't even intend to let go. Their whole bodies were like lava, constantly erupting. Stop! Someone spoke, but it was still a step too late. Ah! The next moment, the last 2 remaining people were swept away by the flames. Even if they were lucky enough to survive the thousands of degrees of heat, they would eventually be destroyed. At this time, all 5 people were bathed in the sea of fire and couldn't help but suffer. Shouted! Several strong lights appeared around him and were turned on. A figure appeared next to Li Te. He stood there with cold eyes. I just told you to stop, why don't you let them go? The person who spoke was none other than Pierce, the manager of SHIELD, who was also from Hydra. At this time, he was very angry, because the few people Li Te had just abolished were all elites under him. Originally, he was very angry. He just wanted to give Li Te a try, but he didn't expect that the other party would attack him so harshly. This made him on the verge of rage, but he just thought about how he was looking for Li Te. So he suppressed it forcefully. Their attack is a killer move, why can't I fight back? Li Te's tone was very cold, as if he didn't give the SHIELD management any face. What he said made the faces of the surrounding Hydra agents change drastically. In their opinion, Li Te was too arrogant. But Li Te ignored them. He looked at Pierce and said solemnly. If you have nothing else to do with me, I'll leave first. To deal with people like this, you have to be tough, so tough that the other party can't do anything to you. Of course, this must be based on your own strength. Without strength, Li Te would have died countless times. Said after that, Li Te ignored Pierce's reaction and was about to leave. Stop, I came to you for other things, since we are the same people, you should be how great we are doing. Pierce saw that Li Te was about to leave, so he said directly. He just wanted to try Li Te's ability before, but he didn't expect that the other party was so powerful and domineering. And Li Te's power also confirmed that he had to do this. It must be Li Te. He would never let such a talent go. After hearing his words, Li Te turned his head and did not move forward. Even Li Te was not sure why Pierce was looking for him. But it is definitely not an ordinary thing for the other party to find him in this way. It must have something to do with Hydra's secret base. Seeing that Li Te is not leaving, Pierce also breathed a sigh of relief. Hydra has been established for so long, although they have infiltrated many organizations. But after all, they are on the opposite side of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they dare not make a big show of it. S.H.I.E.L.D. now has a group of powerful Avengers than before. Once it takes action, even Hydra will be afraid of it, so in this case, they must find a countermeasure. Otherwise, Hydra will only perish. Tell me, see if I'm interested. Li Te spoke. He almost did things based on his own mood. Even S.H.I.E.L.D. couldn't force him. If Hydra just asked him to do a terrorist attack, Li Te had no interest at all. Pierce let his men deal with those who have been disabled. Since those people are no longer of any use, he will not hesitate to abandon them. And he looked at Li Te and spoke slowly. S.H.I.E.L.D. has now assembled a group of powerful people who call themselves the Avengers. You know this, and we must think of some countermeasures. He said it very clearly, and Li Te also understood it very well. The appearance of Iron Man and Hulk's group made Hydra foresee the crisis. Each of these people is extremely powerful, even the mythical god of thunder is among them. 9. If the head snakes want to survive safely, they must fight against these people. But this matter is difficult, and generally there is no solution at all. The only way is to use a special method. They don't threaten me. Li Te spoke. He didn't seem interested in Pierce's words. Hydra wanted to have more powerful people to deal with those Avengers. You know Loki's scepter. At this time, Pierce said leisurely, he wanted to see Li Te's reaction. Li Te narrowed his eyes slightly after hearing this, and his face was slightly shocked. Although he knew about this matter, he had to show that he was completely unaware. I know that Loki's scepter has been preserved by S.H.I.E.L.D. What do you mean by this? Li Te completely pretended not to know, and his reaction was within Pierce's expectation. Chapter 84. It is true that he was taken away by the top management of S.H.I.E.L.D., but to be precise, it was me who took it away. Pierce smiled. He looked very proud, as if he was thinking about Li Te's demonstration of his great influence in S.H.I.E.L.D. Without waiting for Li Te to ask another question, Pierce continued to speak on his own. I put it in a very safe place. This scepter has a special ability. Using it, we have created existences that can rival the Hulk and others, and can also be called superpowers. After Li Te heard this, he understood. As in the plot, Loki's scepter is in Hydra's secret base, and through research, it has promoted some superpowers. Although there are only 2 people, it is true that able to compete with Captain America and others. I didn't expect that your team, S.H.I.E.L.D., has penetrated so deeply, but what does this matter have to do with me? Li Te said. Although he asked such a question, there was already a vague guess in his mind. Perhaps this was his chance to enter the mysterious base of Hydra. The power of the scepter is so great that we cannot grasp it. From the beginning to now, only 2 people have withstood that power. As for the others, they cannot bear it. Although our organization has some people with special abilities, those 2 people are very powerful. We have no experience in this area. Pierce finally revealed his purpose. Although the twin brothers and sisters were powerful, they were just ordinary people before. Suddenly they gained such powerful power that they couldn't control it for a while. Although these 2 people can already be regarded as their Hydra, their ace card, but they can't use it yet. Some people from S.H.I.E.L.D. are pressing harder. If they delay, it will be a disaster. Therefore, their ace card must be effective in a short time. But they really don't have any experience in training superpowers. Coupled with the energy of Loki's scepter, the twins sometimes cannot control their power at all. Because of this incident, Hydra has lost many elites. Therefore, they must find someone who can have strong abilities and can train them. Li Te is their candidate. Li Te was the one who helped train the US team before. Coupled with the strength Li Te showed just now, he is not unpowerful. This is the best way. I will give you a reasonable excuse to leave in S.H.I.E.L.D. Even Nick Fury can't interfere. What you have to do is go to the secret base and help us train those 2 people. As expected, Li Te was overjoyed when he heard this. Originally, he was worried about how to enter Hydra's secret base and contact the twins. Now it seems that Pierce is here to help him. It can be said that he is playing into his own hands. This is for organization's sake and I hope you can take action immediately. Pierce said again. Although he was very dissatisfied with Li Te's domineering attitude, this was the only way. If it was delayed any longer, many problems might arise. What's in it for me? Li Te did not agree immediately, but just asked like this. If you agree too readily, the other party may have doubts. Although it will not affect anything, you should be careful in front of such people. For Hydra, as long as people have desires, then they can control it. After hearing Li Te's words, Pierce showed a smile on his face and said slowly, in the future, you will be the next director of S.H.I.E.L.D. The temptation to serve as the highest official who travels above the law is indeed great enough. Good. Li Te smiled and agreed directly. And Pierce seemed to have found what Li Te's desire was. For him, as long as he understands a person, he can completely control him. I will send someone to pick you up early tomorrow morning. You don't need to explain to anyone. I can arrange everything. After Pierce finished speaking, he left directly. His goal had been achieved, and now it was time to implement the plan. Li Te also turned around directly. He didn't expect that this matter would be resolved so easily. For him, it was a big surprise. As for Fury, Pierce will solve it and the other party can't interfere at all. So this time there will be no problems with his actions. When the plot of Avengers 2 unfolds, he will directly give out the location of the Hydra base. Everything is extremely perfect. At this time, Lee Te is like a person looking down on the entire scene. Whether it is Hydra or S.H.I.E.L.D., they are all chess pieces in his hands. And what he needs to do next is like God, he controls the overall situation. But all this needs to be done slowly, and Lee Te is not in a hurry. Fortunately, he knows the development of the plot later, which is his biggest advantage. And there is an unlimited download system that allows he can navigate this world with ease. After leaving the meeting place, Lee Te returned directly to the Avengers base. Because of his improved status, Lee Te can be said to be very special in S.H.I.E.L.D. He is said to be an agent, but he has a superhero. He has ordinary abilities. But it is not that simple to say that he is a superhero, because he is not among the Avengers. But no matter what, even 7th level or even 8th level agents are polite when they see him. Of course Lee Te he didn't care much about these, because his eyes were no longer here. That night, Lee Te almost did nothing. Instead, he was secretly planning about future plans. He had to think of all possible situations, especially in front of organizations like S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra. If he is not careful, things will go wrong. Of course, he is not afraid that his plan will be exposed. He is not afraid that S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra will deal with him because of this. What he was worried about was that after everything was exposed, it would be difficult for him to speed up the advancement of the plot. You know, in the plot of the movie world, it took several years from Avengers 1 to Avengers 3. And Lee Te couldn't wait for this. For a long time. In the early morning of the next day, there was a knock on the door of Lee Te's room. He opened the door directly. It was an agent he did not know. But Lee Te had also seen this person, and he was with Pierce last night. People. Mr. Bruce, come with me. The agent said. He was a 7th level agent in S.H.I.E.L.D. Previously, because he followed Pierce, he looked down on 9th level agents like Lien Hill. But what Lee Te did yesterday was too overbearing and he was immediately abolished. 5 people. He couldn't guarantee that Lee Te would not do anything to him. Lee Te nodded after hearing his words and followed him away. They appeared at an airport in the Avengers base and then got on the helicopter. Then it took 3 hours to arrive at a private airport. Chapter 85. When heading to the secret base, Lee Te took a total of 3 flights and 5 types of transportation. Lee Te's eyes were still covered during this period, so you can imagine the importance of this base. It's also because Pierce doesn't really believe in Lee Te, that's why it's like this. But they didn't know that Lee Te had a spider sense, and whether he saw it or not had almost no effect. While entering that base, he also secretly noted the location. After a whole day of turbulence, Lee Te took a helicopter and arrived outside the mountains. This is a place in northern Europe that is covered with heavy snow all year round. It looks so white that it is difficult to see clearly. It wasn't until midnight that Lee Te finally saw a villa on a mountain peak. It is more like a bunker than a villa. Around this villa, there are many forts and trenches, spreading thousands of meters around. This place can be said to be a piece of iron. As long as someone comes within 10 kilometers of this place, they will be discovered immediately. Around the bunker, there are various radars covering the sky. There is even a layer of light shield around the main base that can resist some physical attacks. And this place is the place where Avengers 2 opened. This is simply a war base, and even a country's defenses may not be as good as here. Compared with this, the guards of the Ten Rings gang pale into insignificance. No wonder Hydra has survived as long as it has. Lee Te sighed. Finally, after half an hour of inspection, Lee Te entered the secret base of Hydra. At the gate of the base, Lee Te and a group of armed Hydra members entered the place. Stop! At this time, a Hydra guard leader stopped Lee Te and others. I need to check something on you. He looked directly at Lee Te, with a hint of chill in his eyes. Lee Te didn't mind and let him check. Except for some darts and guns, Lee Te didn't have any special items on him. Not long after the inspection, he finally officially entered the Hydra base. He was placed in a room, and everyone else had already left. There were surveillance cameras everywhere, and any movement he made might be discovered. Seeing all this, Lee Te didn't think much, he just watched. Looking at a huge mirror, a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. On the opposite side of the mirror, There were 4 or 5 people standing there, led by 2 people. One was bald and wore a pair of lenses, and the other was older, but his eyes revealed this light of wisdom. The bald head is the leader of the Hydra Legion, Wolfgang von Starlack, also known as Baron Strucker. The other old white man is the chief scientist of the Hydra Legion, Dr. Lister. He sees us. Dr. List said. He looked at Li Te in the mirror and was very calm. Baron Strucker did not speak and looked at him quietly. He was recommended by Pierce, so there should be no problem. Dr. Lister said. As the largest organization currently involved in Hydra, they can be said to have a powerful army behind them. But even so, they have to guard against outsiders. Pierce said he had superpowers and trained Rogers. Baron Stark spoke. He looked at Li Te's eyes, but saw nothing. Yes, we looked into it and it was fine, but I didn't see him in the Hydra files. Dr. List said, but this cannot be said that Li Te is not from Hydra. In the battle 70 years ago, they suffered heavy losses, and those who survived were either hiding or had gathered together. Even they can't tell the difference between true and false. The twins are emotionally unstable right now and we need to hurry up. Baron Straker said, and then he walked out of the room directly and walked towards where Li Te was. Li Te did not speak at this time. He slowly looked towards the door. Boom. Hello. Baron Strucker is not as cold as before, but looks very enthusiastic. But Li Te knows that this man is one of the true leaders of the entire Hydra. It can be said that this Baron Strucker, apart from the Red Skull, he is the most important existence of Hydra. This also shows that where Li Te is located is the secret base of Hydra. Seeing this Baron Stark, it can be said that Li Te this time the plan was already half successful. Then, Li Te smiled hello. The other party sat down directly. He motioned for Li Te to sit down directly, looked at Li Te and said. At this time, Baron Stark looked very enthusiastic, not like the leader of a terrifying secret base at all. But Li Te wouldn't think so. The one who could get to this point didn't have enough scheming. Especially this Baron Stark, who was from the same era as Captain America. He stopped because he was injected with a certain genetic virus. Growth. After so many years, his appearance remains the same as it should be at that time. Welcome here, there is still a lot waiting for you to do after that, so we want to give you a rest. Baron Starlack spoke, but did not let Li Te go directly to meet the twin brothers and sisters. He seemed not to know the purpose of Li Te coming here. Li Te didn't mind either. He knew that the other party didn't trust him yet. The plan was to take it step by step, no rush. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself, I am Wolfgang von Starlack, you can call me Starlack. Starlack introduced himself, but he didn't seem to have the habit of shaking hands with others. Li Te didn't mind this, and immediately said directly Bruce Li Te. Starlack then turned around and left after giving an explanation to the people below. He came here just to stabilize Li Te. Although the twin brothers and sisters were in a bad emotional state now, he did not let Li Te directly contact them. He is very cautious. Li Te is not in a hurry. Loki's scepter is the Mind Stone. Superpowers created by this ability will be emotionally unstable. Moreover, an ordinary person, coupled with the side effects of the Mind Stone, the twins would eventually lose control temporarily. Waiting for that time, it would be Li Te who would take action. After Baron Stark left, Li Te lay down directly in the room. He knew that no matter what he did, there would be someone surveillance. So in order to temporarily dispel their doubts, he will not do anything. Because he still has a long time. According to the advancement of the plot of Captain America 2 is about to begin. Chapter 86. If it happens on Earth, Captain America 2 will be followed by Avengers 2, which is the Sokovia War. During that time, all he had to do was let Iron Man create Ultron. This is in line with the direction of the plot. And he waited this time for 7 days. During these 7 days, special people brought him food, and even Li Te's movements were not restricted. He went in and out of various places in the base without being blocked. But he couldn't enter some key places. Li Te knew exactly what Hydra was researching, so there was no need to pry for any information. Also during these 7 days, Baron Stark and Dr. Lister had been observing Li Te's actions. They didn't find anything unusual. Pierce was a cautious man, and 7 days had passed, and he was at peace. Dr. Lister said, his brows deeply furrowed. Because the twins' condition was already very unstable, they had tried every means in the past 7 days to stabilize them. The longer the time, the stronger the twins' abilities. ETA Euro trademark S very difficult to suppress now. I still have to observe it. Baron Starlack said, he is really very careful. Even the person recommended by Pierce. Boom. At this moment, there was a vibration in their room. Boom boom. 100 voices continued to emerge, and all the Hydra people were sitting upright. In 2 huge transparent rooms, a man and a woman were in a very unstable state. They kept attacking the glass wall. The woman's body exuded this red halo. The whole person was suspended in the air. And the specially made glass wall was almost cracked under the powerful force. The other man could not see clearly at all, and could only see an after-image. Speed it has exceeded the scope of monitoring and cannot be captured at all. Boom boom. The 2 rooms were shaking continuously, and the faces of the surrounding Hydra members changed drastically, fearing that the 2 people would come over. At this time, Li Te, who was staying in the room, slowly opened his eyes, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. The twins, it's out of control. Mr. Staruk, Doctor, the twins are breaking into the room. A member came to Baron Staruk, and his face turned pale. They were completely powerless against such superpowers. Boom. At this moment, a more violent sound shook, making Baron Stark and Dr. List look ugly. They had been suppressing it before, but now they can't suppress it anymore. Although they can find a way with their current force, they can cause the losses will be huge. Doctor, you go and put the scepter away, and I'll go see what the so-called Bruce can do. Baron Stark finally made up his mind and walked out of the door. He was still very cautious, suspecting that Li Te's target was Loki's scepter. Dr. Lister walked to the research room and temporarily put away the scepter. Boom! There was a huge roar, and Li Te sat cross-legged in the room, closing his eyes and concentrating. Mr. Bruce, we need your help. At this time, Dr. Stark opened the door, his eyes a little anxious, and said directly. Li Te opened his eyes, with a smile on his face. Why, Your Excellency, is there an earthquake? Seeing Li Te's unhurried look made Stark even more anxious. At the same time, he was also sure that Bruce definitely had a way. You follow me. He didn't explain, and took Li Te directly to where the twins were. Li Te followed him and passed the defense lines. And the huge roar became louder and louder. Finally, 3 minutes after walking out, Li Te came to 2 huge rooms. The Hydra members here were armed with submachine guns and were ready to go. As long as the twins broke through the room, they would attack immediately. However, these weapons were not fatal. At this time, Li Te looked between the 2 rooms, finally saw the twin brothers and sisters. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Boom! With another huge noise, the huge special glass wall in front of the Scarlet Witch exploded directly. A stream of red magic power rushed out. And the surrounding Hydra members fell down in an instant. They were no match at all. The other one Quicksilver in the room also rushed out at this time. His speed could not be caught at all. Mr. Bruce. At this moment, Baron Starlock also felt a hint of crisis. But when he just finished speaking, Quicksilver had already rushed in front of Starlock. Quicksilver's speed was so fast, even if his own strength was not enough, but at a sufficient speed, the power will increase exponentially. Even Li Te was shocked by his speed. If it weren't for the spider sense, he would hardly be able to find traces of Quicksilver. But Quicksilver is by his side, so he sensed it. But Li Te didn't take action. Boom! At the terrifying speed, Baron Stark was shaken in an instant, almost irresistibly, and crashed into a pile of rubble. This powerful force made him almost break several bones and spit out a mouthful of blood. And next, Quicksilver continued to act. At this moment, his target was Li Te. But at this time, Li Te had already sensed the crisis. Although his eyes could not see Quicksilver's movements, his senses could. Without any hesitation, Li Te's whole body it turned into magma, and the whole person emitted a high temperature of several thousand degrees. Boom! Ji Kuei-yin, who had hit Li Te, couldn't bear this temperature at all. His palms were burned, and his whole body fell back one after another. Li Te's eyes flashed, and he could clearly see the injured Kuei-yin. Action! At this time, he took action directly to subdue Quicksilver. But the moment he took action, his whole body flew up uncontrollably. He found that around him, red magic wrapped around him, especially that this powerful force was like two giant mountains squeezing together. Li Ti's face changed. This was the power of the Scarlet Witch, and even he couldn't bear it. Fortunately, her current power had not been fully developed, and Li Ti's whole body exploded with astonishing energy. The power. He took off the button in his hand with difficulty, put it in his hand, and threw it directly. In the past, Hawkeye was able to burst out terrifying power with a coin, let alone Li Ti now. Boom! Scarlet Witch's expression changed, and she dodged the button. It was precisely because of this that Li Ti resumed his action. He didn't give Scarlet Witch time to take action, and appeared in front of her almost instantly. Li Ti took action and pinched her. Hold the Scarlet Witch's neck. Although the witch's magic is powerful, it is completely inadequate in melee combat. How can it withstand Li Ti's power? Ah! The Scarlet Witch screamed in pain, her face turned pale, and she was ready to use magic again. But Li Ti would not give her another chance and hit her head directly against the wall. Boom! Fortunately, Li Ti controlled his power, otherwise the blow would have been fatal. But Scarlet Witch, who was attacked like this, fainted. Wanda! Quicksilver yelled, ignoring the pain in his body, holding a huge steel plate, and rushed directly towards Li Ti. The latter directly put down Scarlet Witch and punched the steel plate directly. Boom! Kuei Yin's power is not strong, but his speed is too fast. With the blessing of speed, Li Ti's power actually fell into a disadvantage immediately. Chapter 87. But Li Ti did not retreat. At this moment, every cell of his holy body was emitting this strong electric current, which was directly transmitted to Kuei Yin's body through the steel plate. Although Quicksilver is now a superpower, he fainted when faced with such a powerful voltage. When Li Ti used thunder and lightning, he was completely concealed. The people around Hydra didn't notice it at all. At this time, both Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were fainting, temporarily losing their fighting ability. After seeing this scene, Dr. Starkla and Dr. Lidus were extremely shocked. The battle just now was too fast. They didn't even react, and the battle was over. They finally knew why Pierce recommended this man so highly. This kind of fighting power is beyond even their imagination. Li Ti looked at the fainted twins, his expression did not change. He didn't check the abilities of the two of them just now, because he still had a lot of time later. Mr. Bruce, your strength is beyond my expectation. Starlock stood up. He was a little shocked by Li Ti's strength. Although there were scenes of Li Ti fighting in the New York battle, he did not expect that Li Ti could be so powerful without a suit. He didn't believe in Li Ti before, firstly because he doubted him, and secondly because he didn't think Li Ti had such strength. But in this battle, Li Ti's strength completely conquered him. In Hydra, strength is everything. His Excellency the Baron joked. Li Ti smiled and seemed to have done something very easy. Just call me Stark from now on. As you can see, these twins are superpowers that we discovered a long time ago and have been training them, but they are not under control. Pierce also wants you to train them. Stark did not mention Loki's scepter, nor did he reveal that the twins became like this due to the power of the scepter. Although he admired Li Ti's strength, he was still cautious. It would be great if Mr. Starlack believed me. Li Ti said. After this incident, although he didn't let Stakla completely put down his guard against him, it was almost the same. Lock them up again. At this time, Dr. List gave the order. Now the twins were fainted, but it was still very dangerous for them. Then, Li Ti, Stark and others left. During this period, the members of Hydra obviously had no interest in Li Ti. It has a huge change. Strength is very important no matter where it is placed. Both Pietro and Wanda have very strong abilities. As you can see, one is very fast. Ordinary people simply understand that at this speed, people can be hard to guard against. As for Wanda, she has even more powerful abilities. The power, we call it chaos magic, is perfect in terms of control and attack. Dr. List explained the abilities of the twins to Li Ti, so that Li Ti could designate a better plan when training them. They had done many experiments before, and in the end only these two people had superpowers. Moreover, these two people cannot be copied. Because the power exuded by Loki's scepter is beyond their understanding, they eventually stopped creating superpowers. With these twins here, even if they can't compete with the Avengers, but at least if the Avengers want to destroy them, it won't be that simple. They are considered to be their ace in the Hydra. I basically know everything, and I think I can start training them tomorrow if possible. Li Te smiled and said that the abilities of these two people are not complete yet. But with his training, they can definitely reach the maturity stage in the shortest time. At the same time, he also has 3000 energy values. These energy values can be specially for the sake of these twins. Chapter 89, Strong Killing Intent 1/5. Please subscribe to the new book and ask for everything. Fortunately, Li Te had already had enough plans before, otherwise, he would not be able to meet the twin brothers and sisters this time. There is no way to download it. Whether it is Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch, they have withstood the energy of the Mind Stone. So their abilities are very powerful. Especially Scarlet Witch, her abilities are even more terrifying. In Avengers 3, the Scarlet Witch relied on her own power to destroy the Mind Stone. Although the energy of the two came from the same place, you can still feel the power of her ability. It can be said that the Scarlet Witch is the most underestimated superhero. Of course, this is also because her power has not been fully developed. Otherwise, it is not impossible for her to be one of the strongest Avengers. When Li Te fought with her before, he could already feel the power of her power. This is also it's just the beginning. If it is fully developed, maybe facing Thanos head-on is no longer a problem. And now Li Te's most important task is to fully gain the trust of the twin brothers and sisters. After completing the task, he can gain energy again value. Later, Li Te made a training plan based on the abilities of the twin brothers and sisters, how to develop their strength in the shortest possible time. During this night, Li Te did not do anything else. Until the next morning, he basically plan has been completed. Hello Mr. Bruce, Mr. Starlack is calling for you. A member of Hydra opened the room where Li Te was and said, with a look of admiration on his face. In yesterday's battle, we basically saw all the achievements of Hydra. How powerful is it that both twins can be subdued? Ah! Good! Li Te responded, and then followed the Hydra member to leave. Soon after, they came to an extremely empty field in the base, like a coliseum. And Baron Stark stood not far away from Li Te, he stood there with his arms folded. Mr. Stark, here comes Mr. Bruce. The Hydra member reported, and then left directly. Li Te walked towards Stark. Mr. Bruce, from today on, the twin brothers and sisters will be handed over to you. Baron Stark looked at the venue. There was a huge room there, and the twins were standing in it. They were awake, but their emotions were not yet very stable. When Li Te appeared, the twins had already noticed he. The two of them looked at Li Te with some fear. Li Te nodded and said directly, don't worry. After saying that, Baron Stark left here, saying that he did not want to interfere with Li Te's training of the twins. Full power was given to Li Te. And Li Te just slowly walked into the center of the field, and the twins in the room followed Li Te's footsteps. As he approached, a solemn look appeared on his face. Chapter 88. Because the glass walls in the room were specially made, they couldn't hear what was said outside at all. Li Te glanced at the twins, then opened the room directly. Zzz. The glass wall was opened directly, and the two of them formally contacted Li Te at this time. Phew! The moment the door opened, Kuei Yin moved directly, his whole body turned into an afterimage, and his figure could not be seen clearly. This was because Li Te's eyes had been transformed. If it were anyone else, he would not have expected it at all. Quicksilver's movement was noticed. Without any hesitation, streams of lava erupted from Li Te's body, and his whole body was like a demon crawling out of hell. He took action instantly, with his spider sense fully activated. Boom! This time, Kuei Yin followed suit and did not touch Li Te's body directly. But Li Te had already anticipated this. When Kuei Yin rushed towards him, dozens of specially made darts appeared in his hand. Every time a dart is like a small bomb. Boom boom boom! There were dozens of explosions in succession, and everything around him cracked and exploded. Quicksilver was indeed very fast, but he couldn't ignore these explosions. Then, he stepped back directly. Li Te's eyes flashed, and the gun in his hand, the spider web launcher, directly sprayed out hundreds of spider silks, and in a thousandth of a second, it directly wrapped Kuei Yin, restricting his mobility. But Li Te did not stop there. In an instant, he withdrew several times. 10 years away. The Scarlet Witch took action directly. Red magic appeared in her hand and rushed towards Li Te. Dozens of darts appeared on Li Te again, and he threw them directly. Boom! All the darts were pushed away by magic and could not get close to the Scarlet Witch. But at this time, Li Te appeared directly beside her, and the spider silk in his hand appeared again. This was no ordinary spider silk. After Li Te some special modifications, including lightning. Zzz. The next moment, the witch was trapped. The power of thunder and lightning paralyzed her whole body, and she was completely unable to lift her strength. At this point, the twins were once again directly controlled by Li Te. Both of you have very powerful abilities, but you don't know how to use them or fight, so you pose no threat to me at all. After doing all this, Li Te spoke slowly, looking very relaxed. In fact, Li Te was right. These two people have no strength and no fighting experience. Even if they take action, they can get rid of it. Of course, he faced Li Te, who had many powerful abilities. If it had been anyone else, he would have been torn apart long ago. Don't be proud, let me go now. Quicksilver said loudly to Li Te. He has haste, but he just doesn't know how to use it. Even though he was defeated twice by Li Te, he was still unconvinced. Do you think I'm here to play with you? Li Te's eyes were cold, and the flames on his body rose again. He was like a small sun, emitting thousands of degrees of heat. At this moment, the twins not only felt the terrifying temperature on Li Te's body, but also they felt the boundless killing intent. For a moment, they were speechless. In a real battle, people will die. If you confirm, I can let you try again. Li Te stood there, lava all over his body erupted. The spider silk on Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver melted away under the scorching temperature. At this moment, the two of them regained their mobility again. But this time, the twins they didn't take action. They looked at the killing intent emanating from Li Te's body in shock, like an evil ghost. This was real killing intent, how could they not feel it? As long as they continue to mess around, they will die. This is a very strong feeling made the twins turn pale at this moment. They are not superheroes yet, but they have just gained superpowers not long ago. Before that, they were just ordinary people. As long as ordinary people are concerned about death, fear. Li Te's performance at this time was a taste of disappointment. Although they now have superpowers, they were subdued by Li Te twice in a row before. If they continue to take action, in the eyes of the two of them, the result will be the same. Therefore, they did not dare to act. They calmed down completely. Li Te did not care about the twins' thoughts at this time. He knew that the only way to deal with such people was to use force. As for having a good talk with them, first of all to make them afraid. This is the simplest and most effective way. Sure enough, after Li Te said that, the twins stopped messing around. Although they are emotionally unstable now, facing the threat to their lives, everyone will be afraid of it. This is the weakness hidden in human nature. Have you thought about it? From today on, you two will completely obey my orders. Li Te was very calm when he faced the two people. The twins looked at each other, took a deep breath and nodded. Even if they were unconvinced, but the current situation is weaker than others, they can only do this. This is your training plan, and you will strictly follow it in your training from now on. Li Te took out a document, which he rushed out overnight last night. It was for training the twins' abilities. The two took over the training plan from Li Te's hands and nodded. At this time, at the venue, in a dark corner nearby, Dr. Littles and Baron Stark were hiding in the darkness. Everything that had just happened was under their serious control. He is really strong, but I hope he will be loyal to the organization. Baron Stark said, with a trace of solemnity on his face. They are all very afraid of such people. Pierce said, let us be careful about him. There should be no problem with his identity. The biggest problem is disobeying orders. Dr. Lister said, in fact, he can also understand that people with strong strength generally have such a personality. Let's go, don't watch any more if you train in the future. Baron Stark said, not intending to spy on Li Te and the others. This was what Li Te had negotiated with him before, but the training place was in the base. As for the details, they did not intend to get involved. As long as Li Te the twins had been fully trained and had achieved their goal. After they left, a smile appeared on Li Te's face. If no one was watching, he would develop better. He looked at the twins, and then he said directly, meet Bruce Little. After speaking, Li Te directly stretched out his palm. The Scarlet Witch hesitated for a moment, and then also stretched out her palm. Wanda Maximoff. I have to say that the witch's figure is indeed very good, without any blemishes. In a certain way, she is more attractive than the Black Widow. And the current witch is not very old. Except in Hydra, she has no I have come into contact with other people. It can be said that it is very simple. When Li Te came into contact with her, the information about Scarlet Witch also appeared directly in Li Te's mind. Chapter 89. Name, Wanda Maximoff. Identity, Scarlet Witch. Abilities, Chaos Mental Power, Energy Value, 10,000, Incomplete, Chaos Magic, Energy Value, 10,000, Incomplete, Mental Influence, Energy Value, 5,000, Incomplete, Magic Ball, Energy Value, 3,000, Incomplete, Magic Flight, Energy Value, 2,000. Incomplete. Scarlet Witch doesn't have many abilities, only 5. But each of these is extremely powerful, especially the chaos magic on her body, which requires an energy value of up to 10,000. And it is still incomplete. If it is fully developed, the energy value can definitely reach 50,000 or even 100,000. You know, this kind of chaos magic is extremely powerful, even Doctor Strange except the Ancient One cannot compete with it. Once this ability reaches its strongest state, it can even affect reality and become reality. Like the Hulk, the extent of Scarlet Witch's strength is ultimately dominated by her chaotic mental powers. Just like the Phoenix Girl, once she loses control, her spirit reaches its limit and finally collapses. The Scarlet Witch's powerful power is enough to defeat Thanos. It can be said to be very powerful. There is also the fact that the Scarlet Witch can affect people's spirits and thoughts. In Avengers 2, Iron Man was influenced by the Scarlet Witch and created Ultron. So no matter which ability it is extremely powerful. It's just that her abilities are all incomplete, and the energy required is very powerful. As for Li Te's ability to download, it is of little use to Li Te. Although the magic ball's attack power is strong, it is worse than Li Te's lightning control. There is also flying, which Li Te doesn't need for the time being. Of course, this is because Li Te's energy value is really not enough. So Li Te decided not to download Scarlet Witch's abilities for the time being. Then, he put down the witch's palm and looked at Quicksilver. Kuei Yin's abilities were what Li Te was most interested in. There is an old saying in China that all martial arts in the world are invincible except speed. As long as you are fast enough, you can definitely do a lot of things that you can't do. Just like the Flash in DC, when the speed reaches a certain level, it can even affect time and space. And Li Te's main target now is also Kuei Yin's ability. The latter looked at Li Te's outstretched palm, glanced at Wanda, and directly stretched out his hand and said, Pietro Maximove. At this time, Kuei Yin's information also appeared in Li Te's mind. Name, Pietro Maximove. Identity, Kuei Yin. Ability, high-speed movement, energy value, 3000, incomplete, whole body strengthening, 500 GB. These are all the abilities of Quicksilver, only 2. One is high-speed and certain, and the other is very ordinary body strengthening. This kind of strengthening is of no use to Li Te at all. As for high-speed movement, Li Te's eyes lit up after seeing the energy value required to be downloaded. Although the name of the ability is high-speed movement, the speed itself is absolutely terrifying. During the previous fight, Li Te secretly calculated Kuei Yin's speed. The speed is about 600 to 700,000 km per hour. In other words, Quicksilver's speed can reach 10,000 km per minute. This ability is simply appalling. Moreover, it is still incomplete. If it is a truly complete high-speed movement, it can really reach the speed of light. At this speed, no matter how weak a person is, they can still explode with amazing power. The premise is that the person's body is strong enough, otherwise not many people can withstand that speed. Good physical fitness is required. Just like Quicksilver, he could have stimulated faster speed, but many times his body did not allow it. Once the limit was exceeded, his physical body might fall apart. But Li Te was different. He had a body comparable to that of half a god. The speed he can withstand is at least 3 or 4 times that of Quicksilver. Of course, Li Te's physical fitness is not only 3 or 4 times that of Quicksilver. Because the faster the speed, the greater the pressure it endures, so this cannot be calculated based on common sense data. Thinking of this, Li Te has decided to download Quicksilver's ability directly. Although his abilities were incomplete, Li Te didn't care. With such speed, his combat power is not only improved a little. Without any hesitation, Li Te started downloading directly. Ding dong, connection successful. Ding dong, do you want to spend 3000 energy points to download the ability to move quickly? Yes. The system voice came, and Li Te directly chose to download. Ding dong, download successful. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for gaining high speed and certain abilities. The moment Li Te gained abilities, his body experienced an inexplicable change. This change did not refer to his cells, but to his perception and mobility. He could even feel that everything around him changed. Slowly, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver stood still in front of him. It wasn't until a long time later that the two of them blinked slowly. During this period, Li Te was even able to run several kilometers. This is Quicksilver's ability. Absolutely terrifying. After Li Te took a deep breath, everything around him returned to normal flow speed. Very good, starting from today, your training begins. After that, Li Te prepared to sit aside and get familiar with his abilities. All his plans are in the documents. As for training, he will never come in person. It all depends on self-discipline. You should know that absolute speed means absolute power. Why do you want me to train my body and strength? At this time, Kuei Yin looked at the plan given by Li Te and was slightly dissatisfied. He has terrifying speed and can increase his speed, and does not need to train strength at all. In his opinion, this is unnecessary. Scarlet Witch was dissatisfied when she saw her brother, immediately took his arm. Pietro, stop talking. She was very afraid of Li Te, and at the same time she was a little curious. But after a brief contact, the witch knew that Li Te was not as kind as he seemed. But Quicksilver ignored Wanda and looked directly at Li Te. Even if a meteorite the size of an egg falls to the earth, it can cause unimaginable destructive power. You are right, absolute speed means absolute power. Then let me ask you, what is the impact of that egg-sized meteorite on the earth? What happens after falling to earth? Li Te did not look back, but just said to himself. After hearing Li Te's words, Kuei Yin's face showed a trace of paleness. If he is compared to the egg, then his enemy is the earth. Although his speed has powerful power, but the quality of the meteorite itself is not comparable to that of the earth. What happens after it falls? Chapter 90. Of course he was shattered to pieces. In fact, this is also Quicksilver's biggest shortcoming. If he uses his speed to collide with the Hulk, he can achieve certain results. But the effects of force are reciprocal. Hulk can resist that kind of force, but he can't. For a moment, Kuei Yin didn't trademark know what to say. I don't care about this. What I want to say is that you don't need other methods, just use your own strength. Let's compete again. If I lose, I will follow your training plan. If you lose, how to train? We have the final say ourselves. He was a little unconvinced at first. After all, he is a boy. When facing someone stronger than himself, he always has a kind of arrogance. Kuei Yin was very confident in his speed. He believed that there was no other way in Li Te he couldn't control himself. Even if what Li Te said was true, he still didn't want to admit it. He didn't think he was weaker than Li Te. You sure? Li Te turned around. He was still thinking about how to test his newly downloaded ability. Unexpectedly, someone came to his door, and it was Kuei Yin. This is the best candidate to test his ability. Mr. Bruce, Pietro is just unconvinced. Don't meet him. We will follow your training plan. Wanda looked at Li Te's serious eyes and was shocked. She was really afraid that Li Te would take action. Wanda, no need to say this, I just asked him if he dared. Pietro walked in front of Wanda, and he slowly arched his body. Even if Li Te didn't agree, he would take action forcefully. But at this moment, Li Te started. Everything slowed down, Li Te the whole person disappeared completely. Wanda couldn't stop it at all and stood there blankly. In fact, her speed was too slow, as if she was still in front of Li Te. At this moment, Kuei Yin also realized this he was shocked to see Li Te disappear in front of him, and then turned into an afterimage. You know, he had activated his ability. Facing Li Te who was rushing towards him, Kuei Yin took action directly, he fought against Li Te at his fastest speed. But his speed was still slower than Li Te's, and Kuei Yin's steps were clearly visible in front of Li Te. Boom! Li Te appeared directly in front of Kuei Yin. He just tapped Kuei Yin's body lightly. Boom! Under the huge force, Kuei Yin flew backwards. He hit a wall dozens of meters away. His bones were almost broken, and he spit out a mouthful of blood. But now he has forgotten what happened to him. The pain, but the shock and Li Te's speed. What just happened didn't last more than a second. Li Te's speed actually exceeded him. You, how is it possible, how can you have such speed? Quicksilver was shocked. He couldn't believe it. Even the Scarlet Witch on the side looked at Li Te in astonishment and was very scared. In the previous 2 consecutive battles, this Li Te didn't use his full strength? But he is like this speed, where did it come from? Do you think you two are the most special people in this world? Li Te stood there, looking at Kuei Yin who fell. He didn't even move his body. He was in Kuei Yin's best field. He completely defeated Kuei Yin. At this time, Kuei Yin was confused and couldn't do anything. He couldn't believe all this, and his face looked very ugly. The blow in his heart was more unbearable than the physical pain. He looked at Li Te in front of him, and the dissatisfaction in his heart completely turned into a trace of fear. Speed, it was what he was most proud of, but now he was defeated. And he lost completely. Quicksilver stood up with difficulty, with a trace of decadence on his face, and said slowly. I will listen to you from now on. This is a complete conquest in terms of strength. The Scarlet Witch immediately walked to his side and used chaos magic to check his injuries. When dealing with Quicksilver, Li Te did not use his real power. Otherwise, in that situation come on, Kuei Yin's body simply can't bear it. In fact, your ability is more than that. You have impressive speed, which is your biggest advantage. You have not received professional training, and you do not have a body to support extreme speed. It is normal for me to defeat you easily. Li Te looked at Kuei Yin, but he didn't mean to comfort him. These words made Kuei Yin even more frustrated. Mr. Bruce. The Scarlet Witch knelt half in front of Li Te, begging him not to continue. She could feel the blow her brother was facing. If you want to become stronger, you must obey my orders. Under my training, you will become one of the most powerful people on earth. Li Te continued. He did not deny Kuei Yin's ability, he said so directly. At this time, after hearing Li Te's words, Kuei Yin's eyes showed a trace of burning. People, especially men, want to be the strongest. That person. Then can I defeat you in the future? This is what Kuei Yin cares about most now. He was defeated by Li Te, so he naturally wants to regain his face. But when Li Te looked at Kuei Yin, a bright smile appeared on his face, but this smile was different from Kuei Yin's. In front of me, I feel a little cool. Impossible. As soon as these 3 words came out, Kuei Yin was confused at first, and then angry. But Li Te ignored him and just left the venue. This was his training for the twins today, and it could also be regarded as a deterrent. As long as you make them fear you, things will be easy to handle after that. Pietro, are you okay? Wanda looked at her brother with concern and said, with a worried look on her face. Wanda, I'm fine, he is right, we must learn to fight, but I don't believe it, I can't defeat him. At this moment, there was a determination on Kuei Yin's face, he just wanted to defeat Li Te. This is his most important goal now. Unfortunately, Quicksilver didn't know that his strongest ability already belonged to Li Te. And the Scarlet Witch, after seeing that her brother was fine, she secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Then she looked at Li Te's leaving figure with a glint in her eyes. A strong person is eye-catching no matter what he does. Then the 2 of them picked up Li Te before him. A special training plan was given to them. Quicksilver trained his body and his own strength, while Scarlet Witch trained his magic and stabilized his emotions. Chapter 91. How to show super abilities within the scope of control. Just like that, the twins' training began. In the plot of Avengers 2, the twins only initially mastered their abilities. But under Li Te's training, they will only become stronger. During the following period, Li Te only did 2 things. One was the training of the twins. The second is to become familiar with your newly acquired abilities. It has to be said that Quicksilver's speed is definitely the most unique ability in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is absolutely terrifying when used in combat. Although the abilities Li Te acquired were incomplete, it did not affect anything. Li Te has tested that his top speed can reach 1.8 million km per hour. That's 30,000 km per minute. Running with all his strength, he could return to New York in less than a day. It's just that it's difficult to maintain this state. At peak speed, Quicksilver can last up to 10 minutes. Li Te is different. It can last for 3 hours, which is very long-lasting. However, after 3 hours, Li Te's physical strength is almost gone and he will enter a period of weakness. Just like normal people running. At this time, Li Te was sitting in the room. Nearly half a month has passed since we trained the twins. In the past half month, the twins have made very rapid progress. At the same time, during this period, Li Te also used his own speed to visit every place in the Hydra base. He even saw Loki's scepter, but there was still no way to download it for the time being. As for Hydra's surveillance cameras, they couldn't capture him at all. As long as Li Te keeps moving at high speed, no one can detect him. Li Te also discovered a lot of information about Hydra, and his biggest news was the Winter Soldier. Pierce's plan is being implemented, which means that the plot of Captain America 2 has begun. In the latest news he's gotten, there's a huge problem with SHIELD. Many Hydra men have been discovered. Director of SHIELD, Nick Fury were both shot. But Li Te knew that this was a fake death. As time goes by, the plot of Captain America 2 will completely end. Soon, the plot of Avengers 2 will begin. Therefore, Li Te must find a way to get the plot started early. But Li Te still wanted to complete the task as quickly as possible, so that he could obtain a large amount of energy in the end. He has thought about the abilities of the Scarlet Witch for a long time. It's almost time. Li Te checked the time and immediately left the room. He came to the place where Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were training. Both of them were training very hard. During this time, Li Te also taught them some fighting skills. From then on, Li Te also taught them some fighting skills. It takes a long time for an ordinary person to become a superhero. Mr. Bruce, is this all my training? I also want to learn some fighting skills. At this moment, Scarlet Witch appeared next to Li Te, with a smile on her face. Although only half a month had passed, Li Te was very concerned about them because he had to complete the task. It was also because of this, the twins no longer doubted Li Te. It was also during this period that Li Te instilled something in them. Regarding Li Te's own understanding, he not only wanted to gain the twins' trust, but also had complete control. They, like little spider, become a big helper to me. Wanda, you are a very special person, so you have to learn many things. In the future, you will discover your uniqueness. Li Te looked at the Scarlet Witch with his eyes. There was something unnatural on the latter's face. Especially that sentence, you are special. This made the Scarlet Witch feel strange. But Li Te didn't care what the Scarlet Witch thought, he just telling some facts. Is what we, Hydra, do really great? At this time, the Scarlet Witch asked such a question, which made Li Te look sideways. And Quicksilver also came to Li Te's side, wanting to hear Li Te's thoughts. Although the twins had not been exposed to the outside world, many at that time, they were all doubtful. Because Hydra was too mysterious in front of them, and they were controlled before, so they didn't think much about it. But now, the twins have some doubts. Is Hydra really worth their loyalty? Li Te, after hearing what they said, his eyes were solemn. Some things cannot be asked easily. As for whether what you do is correct depends on your own understanding. No one can tell you the accurate answer. The two of them were thoughtful after hearing what Li Te said. But Li Te was secretly happy at this moment. The fact that the twins asked such a question meant one thing, that is, they had begun to trust themselves. It won't take long for the mission to completely make the two trust each other. Over so many years, the twins have been brainwashed by Hydra, but because of the Mind Stone, they are not so extreme. So there is still salvation leeway, otherwise I won't become an Avenger in the future. Okay, let's continue training. Li Te looked at their confused expressions and directly asked the two to train. It can be said that the twins obeyed Li Te's words and walked away. At this time, behind Li Te, a figure appeared. It was the leader of the Hydra Legion, Baron Staruk. The latter looked at Wanda and the two, then looked at Li Te and said, Bruce, come with me. Starluck will not come to Li Te unless there is something special. At this time, Li Te was convinced. The two went to the base together, and Starluck's face was obviously not good looking. Soon after, they appeared into a secret room. Almost all of the people in this room were senior members of Hydra. According to the news we have received, the main body of SHIELD has been disbanded, Pierce's identity has been discovered, and he is dead. Dr. Lights put the latest information on the system-wide projection and said solemnly. After hearing this sentence, the Hydra members present showed a trace of shock and horror on their faces. Pierce is an important figure we have placed in SHIELD, how could he die? Damn it, he was too impatient and had to deal with Rogers. Will our secret base be discovered? Everyone present is very nervous. The base they are currently in is very mysterious. How they are discovered will definitely be a major blow. Bruce, what do you think? Baron Stark looked at Li Te, seeking his opinion. Although Li Te does not have a clear status in Hydra now, his strength is recognized. Chapter 92. I don't think Pierce will announce the location of the base, so don't worry, but you can't relax just because of this. Once they find out where we are, they will call in the Avengers. Li Te said slowly, and everyone present nodded. Hydra does not yet have the strength to confront the Avengers head-on. In fact, when Li Te saw the twins, Hydra was of no use to Li Te. But he must, in order to promote the plot of Avengers 2, he is still retained for the time being. But now, there is no need for that. How are the twins doing now, can they play? Dr. Li Te said, it was created by him, and it is the trump card of their Hydra. If it can be put to use, plus Li Te, the Avengers will not be able to fight when they attack. That's enough. Dealing with the Avengers isn't a problem yet. Li Te said truthfully, letting everyone breathe a sigh of relief. This is what they want to hear most. Thank you for your hard work, Bruce. Once the training is completely completed, I will let you enter the upper echelons of the organization. Tarek said that he had doubts about Li Te, but now was no longer the time for internal strife. Li Te smiled and said nothing more. What identity is not important to him. Afterwards, Hydra executives continued to study how to deal with possible Avengers, but they still didn't care. Because their secret base is too remote, it would not be easily discovered without the Avengers from S.H.I.E.L.D. During this period, Li Te also walked out of the meeting. At this time, he stood slowly on the spot, with a smile on his face. Now, it's time to start the plot of Avengers 2. Without much hesitation, Li Te walked to the blind spot of the surveillance camera, and then turned into an afterimage. At the extreme speed, the surveillance could not detect him at all. Soon, Li Te came to a room. The room he originally lived in was completely isolated and there was no signal at all. Now he came to an empty room and used the power of lightning to short-circuit the surveillance. Then he turned on a computer. Although S.H.I.E.L.D. has been disbanded, Li Te can still contact Fury and Hill. After sending the address, Li Te left the place directly. In order to prevent Hydra people from noticing, Li Te deliberately used the power of lightning to slightly destroy the central control system. Although S.H.I.E.L.D. did not discover the location of the Hydra base in the plot of the movie, they have other channels. It just takes a while, and Li Te has advanced the time. After finishing all this, Li Te went to the room. Now, we just need to wait for the reaction from the other side. At this time, New York, Avengers base. Although S.H.I.E.L.D. has been disbanded, the Avengers base is still there. Cap, Black Widow, Falcon, Hill, and Nick Fury are all here. They are considering how to deal with the aftermath of Hydra. Unexpectedly, Hydra has penetrated us so deeply. Nick Fury said with lingering fear. No one said anything. This matter is really serious. It's just that they don't know where the secret base of Hydra is. Otherwise, they would have taken action long ago. Diddy. At this moment, a message came from the projection of the entire system. This message was very simple, it was a location and a name. Hydra's secret base. Everyone was stunned. They were still thinking about this just now. The location of Hydra's secret base was sent directly here? We need to study it. Captain America said, his character is like this, he is worried about danger. It's too late, I'd rather miss it than let it go. Nick Fury hates Hydra very much, and this location is very consistent with the information they got before. They can't delay it any longer. He looked back at Captain America and the others and said solemnly. Avengers, assemble. Nick Fury is very serious. Because of Pierce, their entire SHIELD directly collapsed. If this kind of thing hadn't happened, he would have never known that Hydra has penetrated so deeply. Although S.H.I.E.L.D. has been disbanded, fortunately Nick Fury still has his own team. At least it can help these superheroes. Now that they have finally found Hydra's base, Nick Fury really doesn't want to delay it any longer. This time, is their opportunity for revenge. Fury, calm down, because you don't know whether the news is true or false. After all, Captain America is a person who has experienced war, so he is very careful on this point. They had just dealt with the matter of Hydra, and the secret base of Hydra appeared in front of them. This is something that Captain America it seemed like too much of a coincidence, so he asked Nick Fury to study it before making a decision. My people have discovered clues about the Hydra organization before. And the location that appears now is basically consistent with the information we got before. Even if it is not the real base of Hydra, it cannot be missed. Fury said, he has carefully run SHIELD for so many years. It was directly destroyed because of the Hydra change, of course he was angry. What if it's a trap? Captain America spoke again. Why doesn't he resent Hydra? His best comrade Bucky became like that because of Hydra. But he felt that he needed to calm down. Only in this way can he be safe. We have Avengers. Nick Fury said, this is his decision, and the US team cannot change it. I agree with Fury. Black Widow said. She had seen S.H.I.E.L.D's information about the Hydra base before and thought the news was true. At this time, Captain America took a deep breath and glanced at the people around him. Those people all agreed to attack on this point. Okay, let's get started. Captain America no longer insisted. Everyone stood up. They wanted to assemble the Avengers. This time, they will completely destroy the Hydra base. Is there any news about Lee? Black Widow looked at Fury and said. The members of the Avengers basically know where they are, and it won't take a long time to summon them. But there has been no news about Lee Te for a long time. Pierce had previously issued an order for him to perform a special mission. If I guessed correctly, Lee may have been assassinated. Fury said that he once suspected that Lee might be a member of Hydra. But later he investigated a lot of things, and there was no evidence to directly prove it. Moreover, Lee Te's previous performance had nothing to do with Hydra, so he believed. Chapter 93. Pierce wanted to recruit him before, but was finally rejected by Lee Te. In the end, Pierce didn't want people to doubt his identity, so he found an excuse to deal with Lee Te. This is the best explanation. As for whether Lee Te would survive, he was not sure. A trace of worry appeared on Black Widow's face after hearing this. She didn't believe that Lee Te would die. But thinking about Bucky Euro trademark's appearance, I have a bad feeling. Okay Natasha, go and carry out the order. Fury said, the first priority now is to destroy the Hydra base. Then, these people present have their own tasks. Some people are going to summon Iron Man, some are going to summon Dr. Banner, and some are going to summon Thor. A moment later, after the battle in New York, the Avengers gathered again. At the same time, in Hydra's secret base. Lee Te was still the same as usual, nothing unusual. During this period, he had been training Fast Silver and Scarlet Witch. With Lee Te's training, the two grew up very quickly. Especially Scarlet Witch, who became more and more familiar with the control of chaos magic. As for Hydra, it was exactly the same as before, and there was no if they find any abnormalities, they will do whatever they want. Especially the research on Loki's scepter has not relaxed at all. It's just that Loki's scepter is the Mind Stone, even if Hydra's various researches are very thorough, and have the world's the most top scientists and doctors, but they are unable to study this cosmic level energy thoroughly. Lee Te has also been exposed to Loki's scepter, but his power is still not enough to download the Mind Stone. According to Lee Te's expectations, to successfully download the Mind Stone, he must at least be truly on par with the gods. After all, the power of this Infinity Stone is so powerful that even a being like Thanos is almost half disabled after snapping his fingers. To truly use the Infinity Stones in the end, you need to be able to withstand the strength. At this moment, he was standing next to the training ground. Witch and Kuei Yin were both practicing intensively, and they were very serious. Especially after coming into contact with Lee Te, with the deepening understanding, they had a great change in their view of Lee Te. Even Quicksilver regarded Lee Te as his target. Lee Te looked at the twins, and an idea had already emerged in his mind. This time, he would never let Quicksilver die. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completely gaining the trust of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completing the mission and gaining energy value, 5000. At this moment, the voice of the system came from Li Ti's mind, which made his eyes light up. The twins before had begun to trust him, but they had not yet met the system's requirements. But now, he has met the conditions. The reward for the mission is actually a high energy value of 5,000 points. This is already a battle in New York. Although 5,000 energy points is not much, it is enough for Li Te at this stage. And the most important thing is, then the battle between the Avengers and Hydra will begin. At that time, he can continue to kill Hydra members to gain energy points. This time, his harvest will definitely be extremely huge. Ding dong, the mission is released, please host to facilitate the birth of Vision. Before Li Te could get excited, the system's voice rang again. It was the latest mission to promote the birth of Vision. Vision was also formed by Iron Man's artificial intelligence Jarvis. This is also a powerful superhero. There is not much representation in the movie. Moreover, this task is quite simple for Li Te. He does not even need to take action personally. The most important thing is that this time, the vision he contributed to the birth of must be used for himself. The conditions for the formation of all this are on Loki's scepter. For this, Li Te has already thought of some ways. Chapter 95, The War Begins, a beautiful moment 2/5, beg for subscription and beg for everything. As for how to affect Loki's scepter, the most important person is Scarlet Witch. Her power comes from the Mind Stone, and it is extremely powerful and can affect the Mind Stone. As for whether Vision and Scarlet Witch will be together in the future, Li Te definitely let this happen. In other words, although Vision is powerful, it is just a pawn in his hands. It is not as important as the Scarlet Witch to him. And if he wants to create Vision, he will eventually have to Ultron must be created first. Li Te can be the person behind everything. In the end, he can truly control the overall situation. Boom boom. And at this moment, the sounds of explosions came, which made Li Te's eyes tremble. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who were training, stopped what they were doing at this time, a little at a loss. They were in Judu. I have lived in Snake Base for so long, this is the first time this kind of thing has happened. The war has finally begun. Li Te looked at the sky, with a smile on his face. As he previously sent the location of the Hydra base to the Avengers base, the plot of Avengers 2 officially began at this time. Mr. Bruce. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch walked over at this moment, with a trace of doubt and fear on their faces. They had been training before, but after hearing this explosion, the two of them had a bad premonition. When the time comes, you must protect my life. The war has begun. Pietro, go and have a look. I have something to tell Wanda. Li Te looked at Quicksilver and said, and the latter nodded. He now trusts Li Te very much. Then, Quicksilver disappeared directly. At this time, the Scarlet Witch stood in front of Li Te, with a look on her face. A touch of rosy. Mr. Bruce, do you have anything to tell me? The Scarlet Witch now has a strange feeling towards Li Te. After all, Li Te has fascinated the Scarlet Witch in terms of strength and other aspects. Especially when she was alone with Li Te, she found it difficult to suppress such feelings. Of course Li Te could feel Scarlet Witch's emotions, and he saw everything. He was not an emotional idiot. Then Li Te directly held Scarlet Witch's hand, and a trace of emotion appeared on his face. Smile. Wanda, I have something for you to do. The Scarlet Witch's face became even more rosy when her hand was held, but she still looked at Li Te firmly. Mr. Bruce, as long as it is what you say, I will definitely complete it. For the Scarlet Witch, she has to complete Li Te's matter even if she has to use her life. Don't worry, I won't put you in any danger. Li Te smiled, with a glimmer of light in his eyes. Next, Li Te explained everything to the Scarlet Witch. Chapter 94. Including affecting the Mind Stone and affecting Iron Man's mind, all of this was clearly explained. The Scarlet Witch listened very carefully. Because this is the first time Li Te has told her something, she has to complete it no matter what. Mr. Bruce, I will definitely complete everything you tell me. As she said that, Scarlet Witch desperately threw herself into Li Te's arms. This made Li Te a little confused for a moment, but she still saved Scarlet Witch. I have to say that Wanda has a pretty good figure, and she is slim and graceful. Shang herself has a unique allure, which can be said to be able to charm any man. Especially because of her open personality, after getting Li Te's response, she even moved closer to Li Te. A wave of weakness hit Li Ti's side. It was the first time for even Li Ti to feel his chest to such an extent. Moreover, the Scarlet Witch was very tall, and she just stayed in Li Ti's arms. Fortunately, Li Ti had been a man for 2 generations, and in addition to his own personality, so that there would be no disturbance in this situation. However, the Scarlet Witch was really tempting, and Li Ti did not dare to let her stay in his arms for too long. Okay, follow the plan. At this time, the Scarlet Witch reluctantly left Li Ti's arms. Westerners are much more outgoing than Easterners, so they are not that shy. At this time, Li Ti's behavior also let the Scarlet Witch know about each other. The thoughts in his heart made him happy. Buzz. At this moment, a figure appeared beside the two of them. Ahem, Mr. Bruce, Stark is here. After saying that, it was as if he didn't see anything. If it were someone else holding his sister like this, Kuei Yan would take action in an instant. But this is Li Ti, and Kuei Yan takes it for granted. There is another reason, that it's just that he really can't beat Li Took. Okay, you two, let's get started. Li Ti said. Scarlet Witch nodded, and left with Quicksilver. Not long after, Baron Stark appeared in front of Li Ti. Bruce, no, S.H.I.E.L.D. has discovered our existence. Damn it, what is going on? His eyes were full of worry. After all, looking at the situation this time, their secret base was about to suffer a major blow. Li Ti looked at Stark. Although he knew everything in his heart, he didn't show it at all on his face. I know, it's too late to find out how S.H.I.E.L.D. discovered us. We have to figure out how to deal with S.H.I.E.L.D.'s attack. Li Ti looked at Stark and said. He looked like he was doing everything for the Hydra organization. This made the heavy expression on Baron Stark's face relax. In his eyes at this time, Li Ti was there is no doubt that they are members of Hydra. He actually doubted Li Ti before, which made Baron Stark very annoyed. What do you think we should do now? Stark asked Li Ti for his opinion, and Li Ti chuckled in his heart. Does Hydra trust him so much now? No matter what, the base can be lost, but there are some research results that cannot be known to S.H.I.E.L.D. I have asked the twins to protect them. Li Ti said, making Baron Stark nod. Protecting Loki's scepter is indeed the most important thing at the moment. Afterwards, the two talked again and walked towards the command center of the base. The entire command center is now in a panic. Now, all Hydra people are very nervous. They have been living here for a long time, but they were unexpectedly discovered suddenly. What's going on with you? Attack quickly. Baron Stark looked furious after seeing that the Hydra members did not move, and asked them to take action quickly. After all, they now have a powerful army of fighter jets. However, the other party is an Avenger. The other party is an Avenger. At this time, everyone in the command room of the entire Hydra army was in a gloomy mood. On the monitor, extremely powerful figures were sweeping across their Hydra army. Among those people in front of them, the characters of Hydra are almost vulnerable. There is no way, the Avengers are too powerful. Not to mention existences like Hulk and Thor. Even Captain America and Hawkeye can say that it was a sweeping sweep. Almost no one was their opponent. Thousands of fortresses were pulled out in an instant. On land, they had the so-called terrifying Hulk. No matter how strong the fortress was, in his hands it is almost impossible to withstand a blow. As for the air, with resources like Iron Man, it is a war machine. And Thor, fighting the people on Earth is easy for him. Although there are some in Hydra that they can be called people with special abilities, but in front of these people, they can hardly cause any harm. Their defense is like a toy in front of these people. Side push, it is completely side push. Stark after the Baron saw this scene, he was extremely angry. At this time, their opponent was not S.H.I.E.L.D., but the Avengers with superpowers. It's not that Hydra is arrogant, in fact, even if it were an army of any country now, even if you want to break through their defenses, you have to pay a heavy price. But those Avengers are almost all a group of invulnerable beings. How can we fight this battle? No matter what, we must allow us to retreat safely. Baron Stark gave the death order. There is no way. The current situation is almost devastating for them. On the side, Li Ti sighed in his heart after seeing all this. He is worthy of being an Avenger, fighting against mankind. It's one-sided. Hydra is also unlucky. Facing these Avengers, it has no power to fight back. And the only ones it can rely on, and the twins, have been secretly controlled by Li Te. This wave of Hydra can be described as it's a loss of blood. After this battle, even if Hydra still has some remaining personnel, it will no longer be able to survive. Mr. Bruce, can you take action now? There was a look of questioning on Baron Stark's face. The only one who can help them fight against the Avengers now is Li Te. After hearing this, Li Te nodded immediately. Certainly. After getting Li Te's response, Baron Stark finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then he sent people to fight with Li Te. No matter what, we must protect Mr. Li Te. Chapter 95. Baron Stark said. Li Te smiled and left the command room with hundreds of Hydra members. I hope Bruce can help us this time. Dr. Lister and Baron Stark looked at each other. Now they have only this way. At the same time, outside the Hydra base, Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, they all took action at this time. They were powerful and powerful. Not to mention a fortress, even an armored vehicle was demolished in an instant. This is the power of the Avengers, otherwise there would be no Captain America in the future. 3 plots. We need to restrain these superheroes. If we can't control them by then, I'm afraid the whole world will suffer. Stark, what do you think? Can you enter this base? Captain America drove a mountain bike and asked directly. It is indeed much easier to deal with the Earthlings than the Chitauri. But their goal is not to kill, but to break through the Hydra base. Snake's base, their battle this time was considered a success. There is no way, they used technology to build a huge defense system, we can't get in. Iron Man said, he really used Jarvis to analyze the loopholes in this defense system. It's just that the data is too huge and it will take a while. On the other side, Li Te has arrived and all the Hydra people have come out, and the war is still going on. Continue. Mr. Bruce, what should we do? A leader of the Hydra organization said that they are looking forward to what kind of power Li Te will have. It is best to defeat these Avengers. Otherwise, it will be really terrible. Do you know Thor? Li Te glanced at the Thunder God who was jumping up and down, with a smile on his face. The Hydra members present were a little confused and didn't know what Li Te was talking about. Boom! And at this moment, the sound of thunder and lightning shook the entire sky. Endless dark clouds gathered together, and a sharp breath shook. At this moment, everyone around the base subconsciously raised their heads. Boom! The terrifying sound of thunder shook, and there were roaring sounds in the sky. In the endless dark clouds, it seemed that an Otaku war was brewing. Boom! The next moment, dozens of terrifying lightning bolts with a diameter as large as a water tank struck from the sky. The hundreds of Hydra members brought out by Li Te only saw the thunder falling like a wild dragon. Click, click, click. The endless thunder and lightning danced like silver snakes. The lightning was so blazing that it seemed to be able to pierce people's eyes. The violent breath shook the surrounding area for hundreds of meters. The voltage of more than 100,000 volts was powerful at this moment. Down, the terror is boundless. Hundreds of Hydra members all died immediately under this kind of thunder and lightning, turning into conversation. Ding dong, kill the enemy and get 1 energy point. Ding dong, kill the enemy and get 1 energy point. The system's voice came out, making Li Te smile. Sure enough, these people also have energy value in them. That moment just now directly gave Li Te more than 100 energy points. Earn blood. It's just that Li Te's kind of lightning can't be used too much because it consumes too much energy. Otherwise, with this kind of thunder and lightning, he could wipe out all the Hydra members present within an hour. This is lightning control. As Li Te's strength continues to grow, the lightning he can condense will become stronger and stronger. It seems that it is time to contact Stark and the others. At this time, Li Te raised his head and looked at the sky, looking for Iron Man's flaw in the defense system. To ensure the success of the plan, Iron Man must be the first to enter Hydra's base. Now all plans are under Li Te's as expected, he seemed to be the one in control of everything. Everyone could become a pawn in his hands. When Li Te was about to leave, Iron Man and Captain America all saw the thunder and lightning. At this moment, they looked shocked. A little unbelievable. Especially Thor, he stood there with a hammer. What on earth is going on? He obviously didn't summon thunder and lightning? Thor, when did you become so powerful? Iron Man is the most experienced with that kind of lightning. He can obviously feel the powerful power. If it falls on him, even his armor can't bear it. So he is even more afraid of Thor. Of course, it is normal for him to feel like this. At this time, all the walkie-talkies of the Avengers are connected to this channel, so they know what the other party is saying. Facing the kind of lightning just now, it is simply the real power of heaven and earth, the terror is boundless. Even if they are Avengers, they are extremely afraid. Although each of them has special abilities, this ability has a limit. Once it exceeds this limit, they cannot bear it. Just like what happened just now, few people can withstand thunder and lightning. So they all want to see what Thor will say. I didn't do this, and I don't know what happened. Thor was a little confused. It was indeed not him who did what he did just now. But it is hard to believe that it was due to the weather. Because those thunder and lightning were all gathered together, and it was obvious that someone was controlling them. As a person of thunder and lightning, Thor, the god, knows these things very well. Therefore, Thor did not hesitate at all, directly used the hammer to fly past and appeared around Li Te. He wanted to see who triggered the power of thunder. And when he just landed, he saw a familiar figure standing there. Around him, there were charred corpses everywhere. Judging from some of the clothes, they were almost all Hydra people. Li, why are you here? Thor was a little shocked. He looked at the tracks of thunder and lightning around him, and a bold idea came to his mind. Could it be that Li Te did all this? Plum? Thor, what's going on? Thor, have you seen Li? Where is he? Where is he? Is he injured? Or is he just like Bucky? After Thor shouted that, all the Avengers were a little confused. Li had disappeared for a long time, but at this moment, he actually appeared here. After Thor heard their words, he secretly raised his hammer, a trace of solemnity appeared on his face. He knew from the intelligence before that Hydra controlled the Winter Soldier, and Loki's scepter was here, so he suspected that Li Te was controlled. Thor, god of the hammer, you came just in time. Give me the walkie-talkie. Li Te, who was still thinking about how to contact Iron Man just now, saw Thor coming, and his eyes lit up. He really came up with whatever he wanted. Are you not being controlled? Saul was still a little worried, but looking at Li Te, he clearly wasn't under control. It's too late to explain, this matter is very important. Chapter 96. After saying that, Li Te came directly to Sol. Sol hesitated for a moment, but still gave the walkie-talkie to Li Te, while secretly defending himself. There is no way, in terms of IQ, Thor is indeed not very strong. After the intercom, Li Te said directly, Stark, the weakest point of Hydra's defense is in the southeast corner. Where can you break through and destroy their defense system? Iron Man heard this. After Li Te's words, he was stunned for a moment, but then he took action directly the next moment. After everyone heard Li Te's voice, they immediately concluded that Li Te was not under control. And Iron Man followed Li Te's instructions and indeed broke through the defense system of the Hydra base. With the defense system breached, Iron Man directly entered the Hydra base. Li Te returned the walkie-talkie to Sol. He looked at Sol and said, What are you doing standing still? Just do it. Sol looked at Li Te in surprise, because he could clearly feel that Li Te was now powerful. What the hell is going on? Why can you suddenly control thunder and lightning? This is Thor's biggest question now. Controlling thunder and lightning is exclusive to him. I think it may be the reason for Loki's scepter. Hydra used it to conduct experiments. An accident happened during the experiment, and I found that my ability became stronger. I'd better carry out the mission first, to destroy the Hydra base. I will explain everything later. After saying that, Li Te disappeared directly from Thor. In fact, when he contacted the Avengers base, Li Te had already thought about how to explain the reason for his disappearance. He could also show off his abilities step by step. Put all this on Loki's scepter. Only in this way can everything be explained. Loki's scepter is the soul gem, and its power is extremely powerful. Creating a stronger Li Te will not happen without anyone, do you believe it or not? In short, Li Te has found all the excuses, and they are perfect. The most important thing for Li Te now is the people who hunt Hydra. He will gain a lot of energy in this battle. Value. Only in this way can he download more powerful power. As for the target of the download, Li Te already has a rough idea. For Li Te now, ability is not about being strong, but what is most suitable for him now. Supplement their own shortcomings. After a brief period of confusion, the Avengers took action at the next moment. No matter how many questions they had now, the most important thing was to destroy the Hydra base first. But no one knew that after Iron Man entered the Hydra after the Snake base, there was already someone waiting for him. In the dark, a solemn look appeared on Scarlet Witch's face, looking at Iron Man not far away. That's what Mr. Bruce was talking about. She looked at Iron Man and confirmed his identity. At that moment, he turned into an afterimage and disappeared. Iron Man, who had just taken off his Iron Man suit, could only be regarded as a mortal, worse than the Scarlet Witch. How much? At this time, the Scarlet Witch suddenly appeared behind him, and Iron Man did not feel it. Buzz! Scarlet Witch raised her hand, and streaks of red magic invaded Iron Man's mind in an instant. The next moment, Scarlet Witch disappeared, and the first phase of her mission had been completed. At this moment, Iron Man had already seen what was happening in the complex. The scene seen in the second episode. All the Avengers were dead. Even the vibranium shield was completely broken and became two halves. Iron Man saw the scene of all the Avengers dying. Not long after, he came back to his senses. Everything around him has not changed, but Iron Man has turned a little pale. In the future, it seems that they will meet the enemy who will destroy the Avengers. He must not let such a horrible thing happen. For this reason, a plan is quietly coming. It emerged in his mind. Chapter 98, The Destruction of Hydra 5/5, Beg for subscription, beg for everything. Of course, only he knows this plan, and only he can do it. After this, Steel Xia went to the control center, preparing to directly destroy the defense system of the Hydra base so that other Avengers could completely enter here. Outside the base, the Avengers were fighting non-stop. Li Te had various abilities, killing those Hydra members were extremely relaxed. Although Hydra trusted him now, Li Te didn't feel much pressure. At this point, after all, he wanted to advance the development of the plot. All this was inevitable. As he continues to kill, he has more and more energy points in his hands. He has speed and powerful attack capabilities, and it can be said to be quite simple to obtain energy points. As for the other Avengers, Iron Man will use the defense system after the destruction. They also entered the base directly. At this time, Baron Stark and Dr. List had discovered Li Te's methods. All of this was Li Te's arrangement. Including the exposure of their base, they already knew it very well. Yes, I also want to understand. Damn it, this Bruce Lee is actually hidden so deeply. Baron Stark was furious, but he had no choice. If this continues, it would only be a matter of time before Hydra would be defeated. If you want to blame them for luring the wolf into the house. Where are the twins? Where are the twins? Let them take action. Baron Stark seemed to have remembered something, and immediately shouted loudly. But as Dr. Lister, who created Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, he stood there without speaking. Originally, for him, it was him who created the twins. The most proud achievement in his life. But now it seems that his only achievement has been taken away by others. They have disappeared. It seems that they have been instigated by Li Te. Drive. Lister said sadly. This was the most difficult fact for him to accept. It only took less than a month for others to directly instigate the people he trained to rebel. They, Hydra, were completely defeated this time. After hearing what Dr. Lister said, Baron Stark was shocked. All this is his conspiracy. He was very unconvinced. Originally, after so many years, Hydra not only recovered its vitality, but even became stronger than before. But Pierce's death, coupled with Li Te's accident, caused their many years of hard work to be in vain. How can we not let this happen? Are people angry? Mr. Starlack, are you talking about me? At this time, Li Te had already appeared in the command center. He stood there with a calm face. It seemed that everything had nothing to do with him. Behind him, Black Widow, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man and others appeared. Yes, just stand there. Chapter 97. Hawkeye has already drawn his bow and arrow. As long as they make any abnormal actions, they will take action immediately. Hulk has disappeared. Because he can't control his mind, he has left this place first. He's not with Black Widow, there's no lullaby. It's you who betrayed us. Baron Stark looked at Li Te, with a strong murderous intent in his eyes. He hated Li Te extremely, but now he has no way to do it. Are you too naive? After Li Te finished speaking, at the next moment, he took action directly and killed all the people present. Once again, he gained some energy points. Only Dr. Lister and Baron Stark were left. These two people were Hydra. The higher UPS are not allowed to kill directly. Is this how things are resolved? Captain America glanced at the people around him, and everyone else nodded. They didn't expect that the process of destroying Hydra this time would be so easy. There were almost no accidents, it was so smooth. All of this depends on Li Took. Black Widow said, there was a lot of curiosity in her eyes, and she seemed to have a lot of questions, but on this occasion, he didn't ask them. Go find Loki's scepter and leave the rest to Fury. Captain America gave the order again, and he glanced at Li Te. Not only Black Widow, but everyone present had many questions. It's just that they have to solve these things now. As for the questions, they can be asked later. But these Avengers can be sure that Li Te is definitely standing with them. Soon, Loki's scepter was found. This time, the Avengers did not give it to anyone and kept it for themselves. After all, what happened last time, they were still frightened. But no one noticed that there was a trace of red magic on Loki's scepter. Although it only flashed by, it did appear. After some inspections, the Avengers all directly left. Hulk also successfully turned into Dr. Banner, and Li Te walked onto the helicopter with them and left the Hydra base. In the other direction, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver stood in the dark. This time, Captain America and the others arrived at the beginning and the end. The twins were never discovered. Wanda, why don't a Euro trademark T we follow? Quicksilver looked at the back of Li Te as he left, and then said to Scarlet Witch. Mr. Bruce has the best plan, we just have to execute it, let's go. Scarlet Witch said, Li Te has already told her. Let them go to a place, and soon a robot will come to look for them. All this is in Li Te's plan. And Scarlet Witch has to do it is to implement Li Te's opportunity to perfection without any mistakes. Kuei Yin nodded, because of Li Te, the brother and sister felt alive in the true sense. Then, the two left directly. As for them, Li Te need not worry about safety issues. At this time, the Hydra base was officially declared destroyed. On the plane, Li Te sat with the Avengers. The battle went smoothly beyond their imagination. After a short rest, Captain America, Thor, and others all looked at Li Te. Why did you release lightning, and why were you at the Hydra base? Thor brought it up directly, and Fury also came to everyone. He wanted to know this most. Faced with these questions, Li Te didn't mind. After all, Hydra's methods, the people present they all know it very well. They are afraid that they are the people placed by Hydra around the Avengers, so they are so cautious. In fact, you probably know that Loki's scepter is a powerful weapon. Li Te was not in a hurry and just explained slowly. Everyone nodded. Now they have a general idea of the existence of the infinite stones. But the specific details are not yet clear. As for all the explanations, Li Te knows it in his heart. Guaranteed. Fury, the king of spies, couldn't find any flaws. All of this needs a reasonable explanation, otherwise it will be unconvincing. The most important thing is that Li Te wants his plan and plot to continue to advance, then he will it is necessary to gain the trust of the Avengers. When Li Te mentioned Loki's scepter, the people present nodded slightly. They already knew that Loki's scepter has great power. And in Li Te's next explanation, almost most of the responsibility is put on Loki's scepter. That day, when I was in the Avengers base, someone from S.H.I.E.L.D. came to me and said that the top management had an important mission. Although I was wary, I didn't think much about it. Then I met Pierce. I fainted. Leet began to explain from the day he disappeared. Because Pierce didn't want others to find out that he was the spy leader of Hydra at the time, not many people knew about the fact that he asked Let to leave. Later, even the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury didn't even know. And this became the best excuse. Li Te continued to explain, saying that he had already appeared at the Hydra base when he woke up. During that time, Hydra the snake had been hypnotizing him, and even tried to control his mind. Even Loki's scepter was used. Finally, Li Te knew where he was, which was at the Hydra base. In the end, he used the trick and pretended to be Hydra took control. After hearing Li Te's explanation, everyone nodded. It is well known that Loki's scepter has the ability to control people's minds. Li Te is immune to this kind of control. They had shown this before, so everything Li Te explained had already been established. Seeing their expressions, Li Te already knew that they had begun to believe him. Next, Li Te spoke as needed, and after pretending to be controlled, Hydra began to use Loki's scepter to conduct experiments. In this kind of experiment, many people were test subjects because they could not withstand the power of the scepter and eventually died. Li Te, because of his special physique, withstood many field tests. These tests did not cause any harm to him. They actually gave Li Te a more powerful ability. When I discovered this, I already understood that I had the ability to fight back against Hydra. Li Te looked at everyone with a solemn look on his face. There were almost no flaws in what he explained. Chapter 98. After the Avengers heard what happened to Li Te, they felt sympathy. They are well aware of Hydra's cruelty to people. Li Te seems to be relaxed on the surface, but they know that Li Te must have endured a lot. In other words, soon after, you used these abilities to pass on the location of Hydra's base to us so that we could fight back, but why didn't you identify yourself? Captain America thought of something. He looked at Li Te and said. Iron Man and Dr. Banner nodded. If Li Te revealed his identity, they would probably set off immediately. Even Nick Fury looked at Li Te like this. Special, I want to know how he explains it. If I identify myself, will you believe me? Li Te smiled. He didn't explain, he just asked like this. After hearing this sentence, the people present looked a little unnatural. Li Te disappeared for a long time and suddenly appeared at the Hydra base. This would arouse their suspicion. Sudden disappearance and sudden appearance. Even a person like Fury who hates Hydra will think about it and will not summon the Avengers so quickly. On the contrary, only this message, without a signature, can allow them to try it. Fan. Having said this, Li Te has almost gained the trust of everyone present. When explaining, Li Te even mentioned Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, in order to make them have no doubts at all. The best scam is truth mixed with falsehood. But Stark's story is different from yours. He said that you were from Hydra, but he didn't know why you betrayed him. Hill stood aside. She had interrogated Stark before, and of course she only found out this. As for other important information, Baron Stark did not let go at all. After hearing Hill's words, Li Te's mind a little weird. I didn't expect that Baron Stark trusted him so much. It was really difficult for him. Then, he stood up, looked at the people present and said, Yes, I am from Hydra, so I betrayed them. When Li Te said this, he was obviously very unhappy. This made everyone feel embarrassed. In their seriousness, Li Te had suffered so much, and yet he was still suspected by them. It would be inappropriate for anyone. Are you patient? Hawkeye knows best. After all, he has been controlled before. Li, we didn't mean that, don't get excited. Black Widow stood up and glanced at Hill, signaling her to stop talking. Hill was also embarrassed. She and Fury looked at each other. Recalling the way Stark treated Li Te when they were interrogating him, hatred. How could Li Te be from Hydra? Moreover, Hydra paid such a heavy price to destroy its most important secret base, and even got involved in it. Just to make them trust Li Te. Isn't this too stupid? Okay, Li, I believe you. Iron Man spoke first and expressed his position. Me too. Black Widow, Hawkeye, Dr. Banner, and Captain America all stood up. After all, Li Te is the one fighting alongside them. If they can't even trust their former comrades, then why are they superheroes? Especially Captain America. He has begun to understand Li Te. His comrade Bucky is in the same situation as Li Te. In the heart of Captain America, he has already leaned toward Li Te. Nick Fury and Hill no longer doubt. Hydra. Li Te took the lead in the destruction of the. What he just said was to retreat in order to advance, and to play hard to get. Sure enough, everyone believed him. Chinese culture is really broad and profound. Well, this time to celebrate the destruction of Hydra. I'm going to treat you. Iron Man opened his mouth and looked at everyone. Suddenly, there was a burst of cheers. Li Te slowly sat down, his eyes always staring at Dr. Banner. And when Li Te looked at Dr. Banner, another figure of the system sounded in his ears. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully starting the plot of Avengers 2. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for getting new system functions and incomplete ability upgrades. Li Ti's eyes changed slightly when he heard the sound of the system. Upgrade of incomplete abilities? The next moment, information about the new functions of the system appeared directly in his mind. The so-called upgrade of incomplete abilities, to put it bluntly, means that the incomplete abilities can be completed. Just like it was Li Ti who downloaded Kuei Yan's ability to move at high speed before. The ability that Li Ti downloaded was actually incomplete. If he wanted to complete it, he could only wait for Kuei Yan to fully master his ability. Otherwise, it is impossible to download or complete. The new function he just obtained can solve this problem. As long as Li Ti is willing to download the incomplete abilities, he can directly complete them. However, this also requires sufficient energy. Possession energy value can be used to complete ability upgrades. However, one thing that satisfies Li Ti is that the energy value required for completion will be less than the energy value of downloading the completion. For example, Li Ti previously downloaded Kuei Yan's high-speed movement. The incomplete ones require 3000 energy points. Once Kuei Yan fully masters his ability, the energy value for continued downloads will reach 10,000 or more. Because Li Ti himself has Kuei Yan's abilities, but Li Ti wants to download to complete it, although it can reduce the energy by 3000, it still needs to pay 7000 or more energy values. It is the same as the previous data download. But after he has this new function of the system, he only needs to consume a small amount of energy value, you can complete the upgrade. For Li Ti, this is a big help. Energy values are difficult to obtain originally, and the incomplete ability upgrade function can help him save a lot of energy values. And he guessed yes, as the plot continues to deepen, the functions of the system will become more and more abundant. Thinking of this, Li Ti checked the panels on his body and the energy value he obtained. Name, Li Ti. Identity, Level 6 Agent. Abilities, God's Body, God's Blood, God's Combat Skills, Power of Lightning, High-Speed Movement, Incomplete, Spider Sense, Alienated Virus, Human Shield Integration. Warehouse, Super Vibranium Shield, Mark 8 Armor. Balance, $2 million. Energy value, 6,500 points, can be used for one-click download, one-click upgrade, one-click fusion, and incomplete ability upgrade. When he downloaded Quicksilver's ability before, he had already spent 3,000 energy points. After the mission was completed, Li Ti gained 5,000 energy points. After that, he spent his time killing Hydra members, which also gave him more than 1,000 energy points. Now his energy value has reached 6,500 points. Download Hulk's abilities, that's enough. Chapter 99. Hulk's abilities are what Li Ti has always wanted, and they are also very powerful. Especially the Hulk's body can be said to be indestructible, comparable to the gods. Even Thor couldn't destroy his skin. Although Li Ti now has the body of a god, it is still inferior to the Hulk's body. If he had two powerful bodies at the same time and fused them in the future, it would be extremely terrifying. Therefore, Li Ti will continue to download. Only by downloading can you continuously improve your strength. Now we are in the plot of Avengers 2, and Avengers 3 is not far away. At that time, Li Ti will face Thanos, the existence that stunned Hulk. Without strong strength, Li Ti cannot be defeated. Download Dr. Banner's abilities first, and then complete and upgrade them to move at high speed. At this time, Li Ti had already secretly planned it. It would still take a few hours before they returned to New York, so he had enough time. Without any hesitation, Li Ti stood up and walked to Dr. Banner's side, his face emerged on a hint of smile. I didn't expect you to come back too. Dr. Banner's eyes were slightly embarrassed when he heard Li Ti's words. After he transformed into the Hulk, it was indeed difficult to control him. If the Avengers hadn't believed in him, I'm afraid he wouldn't have appeared. Yes, actually I didn't think of it either. Dr. Banner said, with a lonely look on his face. He was a world-renowned physicist, a true genius. But after that incident happened, he became a monster. Even he was afraid of himself. Monster. Li Ti's words undoubtedly made him doubt himself even more. Looking at his appearance, Li Ti immediately stretched out his palm and patted Dr. Banner's shoulder. Doctor, I trust you very much too. Everyone present turned their heads, and Dr. Banner looked at Li Ti in disbelief. Thank you, Li. Li Ti's words are undoubtedly a very important encouragement to him, and he needs the trust of others. But Dr. Banner didn't know that when Li Ti first came into contact with his body, his ability was clearly displayed in Li Ti's body. In front of special name, Bruce Banner. Identity, Hulk, PhD in Physics. Abilities, Hulk's Fury, Energy Value, 10,000, Hulk's Power, Energy Value, 30,000, Hulk Body, Energy Value, 3000, Regeneration Power, 1000 GB. Hulk's abilities are almost complete and not incomplete. When Li Ti saw this information, he had already decided on his ability to download. Ding dong, connection successful. Ding dong, downloading the Hulk body ability requires 3000 energy points. Do you want to download it? Yes. Of course, there is no need for any hesitation, this is a huge improvement. Ding dong, download successful. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for getting the Hulk body. Just when the sound from the system came, Li Ti felt that his body had once again undergone a huge change. It was an indestructible and inexplicable force that gathered in every cell of his body like a great river. These forces, extremely vast, causing his body to constantly transform. It is a new life. If Li Ti's previous body was compared to steel, then his current body is an alloy. Powerful and terrifying. Under this abnormal body, Li Ti can even increase his ultimate speed, reaching an incredible state. Now Li Ti, not a bomb, not even a missile can destroy him. This is true power, another kind of improvement. It complements the body and body. Moreover, for Li Ti, there is one most important point. That is that he has the Hulk body and does not need to transform at all. His current body is as good as the Hulk. With this kind of power, Li Ti feels that he can do anything, push everything. Chapter 101, Complement and Upgrade, Integrate New Abilities. 3/5, Beg for subscription, beg for everything. This is the effect of the physical change, which makes Li Ti extremely excited. Hulk in some ways, his body is stronger than the body of the gods. Except for the giant wolf in the 3 types of Thor, Li Ti has never seen anything that can destroy Hulk's skin. This kind of power, the body, is what almost everyone dreams of. And you don't have to turn into the Hulk. 3000 energy points are definitely not a loss. What's wrong, Li? Are you feeling unwell? At this time, Dr. Banner noticed that Li Ti's face didn't look right. Black Widow and others also came forward, fearing that Li Ti would have sequelae after those several experiments. Li, if you feel uncomfortable, you can go and rest first. We still have a few hours to arrive. Captain America looked at Li Ti and said, and everyone nodded. After all, staying in the Hydra base and hiding it from everyone is a very hard thing. Li Ti looked at them and nodded immediately. Nodding, feeling a little sad in his heart. These people had no idea that his expression was entirely due to excitement. The excitement of getting the Hulk body. But their opinions were exactly what Li Ti hoped for. He still had 3500 energy points. He can make good use of this period of time. As for downloading other abilities, Li Ti has no idea. Only becoming stronger all the time is what he really wants. Afterwards, Li Ti replied, alone enter a room in the fighter plane. This fighter plane is very big. Although it is not as big as a helicarrier, it is about the same as a small civilian aircraft. Everyone has their own room. After Li Ti left, the Avengers and Ford Rui began to discuss how to prepare for the follow-up. In recent years, Hydra has spread widely and has carried out many terrorist attacks. Although one of Hydra's most important bases was destroyed, there are still remaining Hydra personnel. They were not arrested. So they had to plan carefully. Li Ti returned to the room alone and locked the door. Then he lay on the bed and slowly closed his eyes. He finished downloading Hulk's body, and his physical abilities were already, it can be considered, terrifying. However, the high-speed movement ability he downloaded from Kuei Yan is still incomplete, so now, Li Ti has to completely complete this ability. With terrifying movement speed, he will be very useful when facing enemies in the future. Unexpected effect. System, help me complete and upgrade my high-speed movement ability. At this time, Li Ti directly expressed his will. Ding dong, it requires 3000 energy points to supplement the high-speed movement ability. Do you want to continue upgrading? The sound of the system came, which surprised Li Ti. It only requires 3000 points of energy to fully complete the ability to move at high speed, which can be said to be a very cost-effective deal. If it is time to wait for Kuei Yin to fully master the ability in the future, he downloaded it again. I'm afraid it's not just these energy values. Chapter 100. Yes. Without any hesitation, Li Te directly completed the upgrade. This is a very long process, and it cannot be completed in an instant like downloading. As the 3000 energy values disappeared, Li Te's induction was at this moment. The surroundings, everything became slower and slower, and he could even clearly understand the flow of air. Time seemed to be frozen. Of course, this was not that Li Te was manipulating time, but that he was getting faster and faster. In a short time, there are so many things he can do. In the plot of Avengers 2, Quicksilver died before his ability was fully demonstrated. In fact, this is a very powerful ability, enough to rank among the strongest. One of the Avengers. At such a powerful speed, even lightning can be avoided. I don't know how long it took, but when Li Te opened his eyes again, everything seemed to have changed. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completing the upgrade and completing the high-speed movement ability. The system prompts that his ability has been upgraded. Then, Li Te stood up and began to test the full version of his high-speed movement ability. Buzz. In just 1/10,000th of a second, Li Te disappeared. He did not leave the room because there were Avengers outside. It's not that they would find him, but Li Te was always cautious. Just after 5 seconds, Li Te stopped. Now my full speed is almost 5 times that of before. I'm afraid even Hawkeye and the others won't be able to detect my existence. The only one who can detect it should be Thor, who has the blood of the Asa clan. Li Te's eyes were full of surprises. Although this speed has not yet reached the speed of light, it is already very terrifying. After all, the faster the speed, the harder it is to improve. As Li Te continues to get stronger, his ability will continue to increase. Eventually it will reach the speed of light, or even exceed the speed of light. 3000 energy values are not a loss. Next, you should integrate your abilities. Li Te sat down, and an idea had already appeared in his mind. The body of the gods and the body of the Hulk are both extremely powerful abilities. If these two abilities are fused, they will definitely transform into terrifying new abilities. Although the greater the fusion ability, the greater the new ability will be, but the two abilities that Li Te now possesses will definitely not let him down after fusion. And the most important thing is that when the ability is stronger, the energy value required for the fusion the more. He only has 500 energy points left. In his opinion, fusing these two abilities is enough. System, find similar abilities and fuse them. Ding dong, the body of the gods, the body of the Hulk, and the alienated virus have similar abilities and can be fused. Li Te's eyes lit up. He had forgotten that he still had the ability to mutate viruses. At that moment, Li Te did not hesitate at all and directly issued the order. Make a fusion. Ding dong, the energy required for this fusion is 500 points. Do you want to continue? It actually requires 500 energy points, and there are 3 abilities. When Li Te integrated 8 or 9 abilities before, he only needed 200 energy points. But Li Te did not give up and chose to continue the fusion. Buzz. At this moment, Li Te felt powerful forces gathering in his body. He seemed to be in the vast universe, and the cells seemed to be like stars, constantly glowing and generating heat. As the eternity-like light of the physical species emerged, Li Te's whole body trembled. Fusion of the physical body was a difficult process. But Li Te still gritted his teeth and persisted, never making a roar. This time remained the same for the fusion. It was very long. After nearly 2 hours, the excruciating pain completely disappeared. Ding dong, integration successful. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for gaining new abilities. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for gaining a new ability, the catastrophic war god body. The sound of the system came as the pain all over Li Te disappeared. At this time, a trace of light emerged from Li Te's body. The previous pain had long since disappeared, replaced by a brand new feeling. He felt that there seems to be endless energy, especially his skin, which is shining with a trace of light. This light appears in every corner of his body, and there is almost no defect at all. This is a perfect body, impeccable. Put it if Li Te's previous body was compared to an alloy, then his current body is like vibranium. It is almost indestructible. As the strength of Li Ti's physical body changes, the power that carries him also changes. This change is huge. At this time, Li Ti's body of the god of catastrophe not only includes all the advantages of the body of the gods and the body of the Hulk that have been mutated by the virus, but also comes with a powerful destructive power and defensive power. Once Li Te explodes with all his strength, and even Hulk's body cannot match him. If the two sides fight, Li Ti's body will definitely win. Especially his body, which can emit a terrifying high temperature, with a temperature of nearly 10,000 degrees. This kind of temperature is extremely terrifying. It can melt many things and is much more powerful than the previous alienated viruses. Therefore, this body is called the body of the catastrophic god of war. Not to mention missiles, I am afraid that it will be hit by a small meteorite. It couldn't hurt him. Such an improvement made Li Te overjoyed. With this body, he might have surpassed the so-called gods in this world and moved towards gods. In the world view of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, gods are very advanced. They are more powerful than Odin. Their bodies are almost indestructible. And Li Te's body is more powerful than Thor's Asa clan. This is very terrifying, and even Li Te feels incredible. For a long time, Li Te suppressed the excitement in his heart and opened his panel again. Name, Li Te. Identity, Level 6 Agent. Abilities, Catastrophic War God Body, God's Bloodline, God's Combat Skills, Power of Thunder and Lightning, High-Speed Movement, Spider Sense, Human Shield Fusion. Warehouse, Super Vibranium Shield, Mark 8 Armor. Balance, $2 million. Energy Value, 0 points, can be used for one-click download, one-click upgrade, one-click fusion, incomplete ability upgrade. He now has 7 abilities, among which the Hulk God of War is the most powerful and terrifying. It can be said that every ability in Li Te is very powerful now. Even among the first-generation Avengers, it can be regarded as the top one. High-speed movement has also been patched and is no longer broken. But when Li Te saw the energy value, a trace of helplessness appeared in his eyes. This time the upgrade fusion download has cost him all the energy points. To improve his strength, he must have energy value. But he didn't feel heartbroken, after all, he could feel the improvement in his strength. To him, that's all that matters. End of the chapter. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.